welcome those of you who watched that shocking result with Indiana stunning Mizzou. What you missed here is an opening kickoff returned 91 yards for Vanderbilt by Darius Sims, the sophomore from Memphis. Vanderbilt leads a 3-touchdown favorite South Carolina here in the opening moments. Is this going to be upset Saturday in the SEC? Already Mizzou has lost. Alabama took care of business against Florida. So hang on, everybody.
Take a look at the energy on the sideline right now for Vanderbilt. Players with their hands in the air, coaches jumping up and down. That ignited this football team early. This young, inexperienced football team, right now they believe.
Hayden Lacaz will kick it away. Sean Carson back deep now. And that'll come out to the 25-yard line. Those of you who just joined us, settle in and enjoy. Here comes Darius Sims with a 91-yarder. Watch the alley open.
Nice crease. Number 27, Jamal McIntosh, gets a key block there in the kicker, and that allows Sims to break open the speed and set this stadium on fire.
Dylan Thompson, the fifth-year senior from Bowling Springs, South Carolina, an outstanding leader. And as a starter, he's impressive. He's 5-1.
Yeah, he's had some big moments in the past, but this year it's his team, and that's why. He's putting up big numbers. Steve Spurrier has a lot of confidence in him, throwing the football deep down the field. Has to continue playing well today. He's got to get South Carolina off to an answer right now on their first drive after that long kickoff return touchdown.
Mike Davis opens as the running back. We'll see a lot of Brandon Wilds, who also was terrific against Georgia. First down, going for a... Whoa, just missed a man who had a step. That's Demir Bird. Demir
Bird, one of the fastest players in all of college football. He's a captain on their track team. And you see, again, Steve Spurrier willing to take shots deep down the field because of Dylan Thompson, who's done a good job throwing the ball downfield this season.
Fullback is Connor McLaurin in that backfield. Staying in the air. Complete across the 50s, Farrell Cooper. Now working to hurry up.
Tremendous pass protection, helps out a quarterback's accuracy. That's a beautiful pocket and a nice throw up and over linebackers to their slot receiver, Farrell Cooper.
The big three wideouts bunched off to the right. Screen to Farrell, and it was read beautifully that time by Vanderbilt. Ryan White, number 14, the nickelback.
Brent, I think the physicality of Vanderbilt on defense is going to get challenged in this game. Not just to stop the running game, but on the perimeter of the field when these quick throws get tossed outside wide. These young cornerbacks, these safeties, they're going to have to be able to get off blocks and make tackles in space.
Second down and 14. Alan Knott, the starting center. Thompson again dials it up. Drops it off underneath. Great pursuit by Vanderbilt early in this game. Not giving the South Carolina backs big daylight. Bowden, the leading tackler, in there with White that time.
And another example of physical play by a defensive back for Vanderbilt. You're going to see Dylan Thompson very patient, setting up the screen, does a nice job. Mike Davis slips a little bit. But watch number 14 coming from the left side. That's a young freshman safety, Ryan White, sticking his head in the fan, making a big stop, now setting up third and long. And Brent, as you know, having covered Stanford all those years when Derek Mason was the defensive coordinator, now, if you're Dylan Thompson, this offensive line, you got to find out where the pressure's coming from. They got linebackers all over the field. All of them have pass rushing skills.
Vanderbilt rushes 4, and they got one through, and Thompson sacked on the 44 by Adam Butler. You called it, Jesse. They were bringing 4 that time, but they got Butler free.
You're going to see Adam Butler lines up right over top of the center. Right here. This is going to be a little stunt game inside. But over top of a freshman, nice job. Lets the defense get the pick. Gets into the backfield, huge sack, forcing a punt. That was a nice series for this Vanderbilt defense.
Tyler Hull back to punt. Trey Ellis at the 10. Probably should have signaled for the fair catch. A little bit of a gamble. Back around the 9-yard line. Drew Williams gets downfield with coverage. The big sack. Commodores. Leeson firing up the Commodores before that kickoff.
History will be written tonight. As soon as you stand in here, if you believe in what you're doing, if you do your job, if you commit to your team and your unit, things will happen the way you want it to happen. You can't fall down, and if you do, your brother will pick you up, and he will carry you on his back, and he will take you there. He will get you there, but you got to believe in him. You got to fight with him. You got to grind with him, and more than anything, you got to believe in him. I'm telling you, history will be written tonight if you believe. Just do your job. No more, no less.
And watch the job on this kickoff return by the blockers. They clear the alley. All fired up for the coach. But can they make it hold up? It's a long way to the victory column. Ralph Webb is the running back. He's off to a terrific start for Vanderbilt this year. One of the leading rushers in the conference. Nothing doing against that front that time. And J.T. Surratt with the stop.
No doubt about it. Vanderbilt is going to have to run the football to have success in this game. They feel like the strength of their offense is their offensive line. Got 4 starters back from a year ago, 97 combined starts. They're going to have to get some push up front against this front 7 from South Carolina.
Carl Durrell, longtime veteran coach, is the offensive coordinator. He's calling the plays for Vanderbilt tonight. That power eye look. Webb is the eye back. They come back with Webb. Fullback does a good job. A little bit of a crease. Well, Patton Robinette, what an amazing story. Here's a pre-med student, and he had lost his job a couple of times, but he's coming back.
Yeah, only a second start this year, but he's played in big games, especially last season. He's very accurate, had a huge day off the bench in a big win 2 weeks ago against UMass. That's a big reason he got this start here tonight. They feel like he's a gamer. They feel like he's a winner. They're going to need him to make plays, both throwing and running. Here's a situation, 3rd and 5. You got to be careful of his legs.
Rolls the pocket to the left, looks downfield, and throws for the first down to the 20-yard line. So going over to Rayford, and McWilliams had the coverage.
I really like the play call by offensive coordinator Carl Durrell, moving Robinette away from pressure. You see the receivers just working a smash concept, a hitch by the outside receiver. That's like a 5 or 6 yard stop by Rayford. Nice accurate throw on the numbers, big first down.
Webb is the running back for Vanderbilt. Stays right on the field with this first down at the 20-yard line. Durrell pounding behind his offensive line. Jesse, you have said to me after looking at a lot of tape that the strength of this Vanderbilt team is probably the offensive line.
Yeah, and they got to be able to fire off. And they're a better run blocking unit than they are a pass blocking unit. I think tonight, that's why it's really important they have success on 1st and 2nd down so they can keep these 3rd downs manageable and keep them on pace and just keep them on schedule. Runs like that really help. We just saw there from Ralph Webb. You see here, big. They got to get off to a fast start, Brent. They're being outscored in the first quarter of games 31-7 this year.
2nd down. There's a handoff now to Webb. On a stretch play, he's got the first down. Harris with the stop. Vanderbilt not only has returned the kickoff for the touchdown, but they're crisp with the offense here in the early going.
You see that offensive line we just talked about. This is a simple zone scheme, getting outside, hat on a hat, playing in unison. There aren't any real physical maulers up front for Vanderbilt, but they play very, very well as a unit. You can see that experience kind of showing up on tape when you watch them. You see it so far early in this game.
Jokes, Bernstein, Townsend, Pulley, Holden, that's your line. Seymour in as the running back. Webb is out. The veteran who made his first appearance last week against Massachusetts, out as a receiver. Now he blocks it, in trouble, and sacked at the 20. It's Lewis who started tonight for South Carolina in place of Holloman, and he comes in and makes the stop.
We talked about the strength of Vandy's offense being the O-line. The strength of defense here for South Carolina is their linebackers. They've got some good ones. They can run, and they can get into the backfield quick. That's a great job just reacting, finding a crease by Kawan Lewis, getting the sack, and here's those dreaded second and long situations for this Vanderbilt offense, whose line has struggled in pass protection this year.
And here come the Gamecocks. Now 6 up on the line of scrimmage. How many are coming? They send 4 down the middle, incomplete. Duchuk, one of the tight ends, the intended target that time, and this is going to be 3rd and long.
The biggest issue South Carolina's had this year, Brent, has been on the defensive line. They have not been able to generate a pass rush, and because of that, they haven't been able to get off the field. So defensive coordinator Lorenzo Ward, he's waiting for a pass rusher, somebody to emerge on this defensive line. Right now in the game on the edge, they've got Cedric Cooper, a junior, number 18. On the other side, they're going to be playing Bryson Allen Williams, number 4, a true freshman linebacker. They're waiting for someone to consistently get in the backfield.
Dangerous spot for Robin Evan, the doors here on 3rd and 17. Come underneath, and he'll take some before the punt, which is probably a good move. Wilkins was the receiver. And Bryson Williams, who has moved back to that familiar safety spot, had a great effort against Georgia. When you look and you follow up to what Jesse is saying with this defense, after Sky Moore, the linebacker of Carolina, the 4 leading tacklers are all defensive backs. You don't want that.
That's usually really bad.
Yeah, that's not good.
And that kind of ties into what we talked about, the struggles they're having up front on the defensive line. It's something we'll continue to watch as this game progresses.
Now Farrell Cooper, he's a gamer. He's back to return this punt for Spurrier. High, beautiful punt. Fielded at the 13. Good coverage by Vanderbilt that time. Cunningham was one of those who got downfield for Vanderbilt. South Carolina football trailing by 7 when you come back.
Every call that we have, you guys need to plug that call in and play the race. Who's going to take it? They're either going to have to bow to the weak side or boss over to the strong side. Because right now, what you're doing in terms of walking down is perfect. Keep your hands up and take the charge. This safety here, you guys are going to play basically top down. Okay, we're going to have to get some help. And this quarterback, man, he does a really good job of feeling pressure even when it's not there. If you can help somebody, by all means, we need to talk and communicate and help the guy next to you.
A veteran NFL presence, Brett Maxey, 16 years around the NFL. He's coached up there, and Jesse, you had a point about that.
Yeah, Brett, it's not just the secondary. This entire coaching staff is coaching from the bottom up, starting from scratch. This is a young football team, 21 new starters, 31 freshmen are playing tonight for Vanderbilt. That's more than anybody else in the country. And this coaching staff has to be patient because this truly is a work in progress.
We'll see if Davis gets a call here. Nope, quick pitch out to the outside, and Coop breaks free. So Farrell Cooper again.
He's a guy, Farrell Cooper, that has really stepped up for this offense. I think one of the biggest losses they had last year, we talked about Jadeveon Clowney and Connor Shaw, it was Bruce Ellington. Remember how good he was at wide receiver? Farrell Cooper, a guy that's kind of taken over that role in these last few weeks. He's had some big-time games. They try and get him the football in space a multitude of ways because he can make you miss.
Out with another first down, just beyond the 25-yard line. Great timing, got a man open. Dropped it. Shaq Rowland broke free.
It's a good play design by Steve Spurrier. You're going to see Farrell Cooper, number 11, in the slot. He's going to influence the free safety, and that springs up Shaq Rowland one-on-one on the outside. And that's a ball that Shaq Rowland is good enough to come down with. Hits him right in the hands. That's a big missed opportunity.
I think they missed a penalty on Vanderbilt back there, too.
Yeah, they will hold on Cooper.
Pulled down on that. 2nd down and 10. Getting to the edge. Farrell Cooper breaks a tackle, coming back the other way and looking for a block. Good effort, not much of a gain. McGaster, the defensive back.
Brent, it's apparent to me Derek Mason's lit a fire under this Vanderbilt team. And on defense, we're seeing guys playing physical. We're seeing 11 guys fly to the football, making big stops, setting up another 3rd and long. And remember, last time they were in the situation, Dylan Thompson got sacked. How's the pass protection here? Another critical 3rd down.
Only 3 down. Little confusion you can see with that defense right now. Now they rush forward. They bring a man from the edge. Thompson got a man again open and incomplete, and that was Jones, Nick Jones. But Vandy's bringing heat, Jesse. You're exactly right.
South Carolina is having issues in the middle of their offensive line. They got a freshman, Allen Knott, lined up one-on-one with the best football player that Vanderbilt has, nose guard Vince Taylor. He completely swims around him, forces Dylan Thompson to get rid of that football before he wanted to. Moving it forward, South Carolina is really going to have to shore up the interior of their offensive line.
And they're without Cody Waldrop, the right guard. Will Sportis has a step into there. So we're going to have to keep an eye on that battle because Vince Taylor is outstanding. Fair catch is the signal this time, and Ellis runs up to the 40-yard line. The crowd, the Vanderbilt crowd, appreciates the effort so far. Up 7, and we got a timeout. September 4th, 2008. South Carolina ranked 24th. Entered Vanderbilt Stadium the favorite. Chris Smelley to Kenny McKinley, a 19-yard touchdown. South Carolina struck first. 3rd quarter, now we're tied at 10. Ryan Suckup's 42-yard field goal is blocked. And Jared Hawkins' 13-yard run for the 24-10 lead with 9:28 left. Vanderbilt beat a ranked opponent on its own field. Jesse, you were here broadcasting that night.
It kind of had the same feel as what we're seeing tonight. Just South Carolina got off to a bit of a slow start, maybe wasn't giving Vanderbilt the respect that they deserved. We talked about this venue. It's not one of the typical SEC venues with the crowd and the noise that you're used to seeing. And so far in this game, Steve Spurrier of South Carolina sleepwalking, give up a kickoff return touchdown, first play of the game. You drop a post on that last drive, could have been a touchdown. They got to wake up. They got to wake up fast.
Ralph Webb, the young man from Gainesville, Florida, back in as a running back behind Robinette. The call behind the middle of that offensive line Jesse's told you about. Towns in the center, Bernstein and Pulley other guards.
Right now, it doesn't appear that South Carolina is giving Robinette or this offense a lot of respect with respect to throwing the football. They are crowding the line of scrimmage. Every snap, you see a lot of white helmets close, and you wonder soon if Vanderbilt can keep having success running the ball, if they're going to try and take a shot somewhere in the perimeter of the field to one of their wide receivers deep down the field.
Second and 6, and sticking with that familiar Stanford formation with a lot of tight ends. Wide open, and that's one of them, Duchuk. Hello, Stanford attack. They stacked them over on the left, and they bring them out, and they break one free. Direct from Palo Alto, coming at you.
You're absolutely right. It looked like Stanford. Multiple tight end formation. You're going to see 2 guys over here, making it look like run. This looks a lot like one of these zone stretch plays they've been running. Fake the lead, and there's the tight end, Duchuk, doing a nice job clearing over the other side of the field. Nice, easy ball from Robinette. Easy to catch. Big first down and an explosive play.
The ball is at the Gamecocks' 27-yard line. And the Gamecock defense needs to settle in here. They'll look at the young man Webb, and he gashes him again. Moore and Holloman finally bring him down.
I really like watching Ralph Webb run the football. He's a little guy, 5'10", 196-pound freshman, but he runs a lot bigger than his height or weight would indicate. Runs with a chip on his shoulder. And he gets north-south. He's very, very sudden and physical. You're seeing this little guy carry white jerseys with him down the field.
If you've just joined us, Vanderbilt dominating South Carolina, but it's early, still 3:45 in the first. Second down and 3 for Vandy. Coming right back with the young man, and nothing doing that time. Good defensive pressure that time. You know, they've been waiting for Darius English for a long time.
He's the guy that they hope can be the next breakout defensive end. He's the guy they feel has the talent to be a consistent pass rusher and a player down in, down out. Now, he had to gain 25 pounds. He's still only 241 pounds, but you see that added weight helps him stand up against the run. Going one-on-one with tackle Will Holden, he makes that stop. He's got to have a big game tonight. He's got to have a big year the rest of the season.
It's third down and 3. Robinette, you said watch the run. To the 10-yard line, first and goal, just what you called earlier, Jesse.
He's a big-time runner. Last year had 7 rushing touchdowns as a quarterback, and when you get in these third and medium to short situations, he's a factor. They just run what's called a quarterback power. They pull the backside guard, and you've got a 6'4", 212-pound quarterback that's not afraid to go airborne. That's a big conversion, now knocking on the door at the 10-yard line.
Webb, back end, it's a Wildcat formation now. Webb is there. He will take the direct snap. Webb, middle, picks his way for about 3 yards, and Holloman finally brings him down.
Like
Interesting look.
Yeah. And Brent, I like the creativity from offensive coordinator Carl Durrell, showing you different ways and creative ways to run the ball. Conventionally with the running back Ralph Webb, we've seen some quarterback runs with Pat and Robinette. Now you get the Wildcat look going, trying to keep South Carolina on their heels.
Now Robinette bends back down in the huddle. Standing up right underneath center here on this second down and goal. And great defense by Gerald Dixon Jr.
He's a big body, Brent. 6'3", 323 pounds. He's a very hard guy to move. He's got the point of attack. He can hold up against single teams, double teams. Oh, sorry, right here. Check him out. Right over top of the center and guard. Gets a nice spin off to make that play in the backfield. Now setting up another third down for Vanderbilt.
His daddy, Gerald Dixon Jr. Daddy played the NFL for 10 years. There's also a Gerald Dixon half-brother in this front. Third down and goal. Robinette has time, slant, touchdown! C.J. Duncan, their best receiver, converted running back. Oh, baby. Call your friends. We got something brewing in Nashville. Openshaw makes it a 14-point Vandy lead with 54 seconds remaining in the opening quarter.
It's a nice job. Another huge third down conversion. Robinette finding his guy, C.J. Duncan on the outside. He's feeling it. This stadium's feeling it. Vanderbilt up 14-0.
Sideline, he may have been dinged a little bit during that drive. Jesse up by 2 scores, Vanderbilt.
Like the play call by Carl Durrell, you're going to see 2 clear out routes in the slot, and that sets up C.J. Duncan running a shallow cross underneath, getting a nice throw from Robinette, and once he has the ball in his hand, all he's got to do is make one guy miss. That's T.J. Hallman, linebacker in the middle, and just like that, Vanderbilt up 14-0.
NFL guy, a lot of NFL experience on this Vanderbilt coaching staff. A few years of recruiting. You've got to be real careful when you come to Nashville. These guys know what they're doing. They got to get their players in there. Durrell was once the head coach at UCLA. This will not be a cakewalk for long once they get some talent in here, and they're playing really well here tonight. From the 8-yard line, it's Carson. Close to the 25-yard line. Well, Maria, the Vandy defense, Jesse said it right, they're flying around tonight.
And their confidence is sky high, Brent. In fact, I heard nose tackle Vince Taylor saying we should win the matchup against South Carolina center Allen, not every single time. Because like, we're going to make it a long night for him, and they want to continue to get that pressure up, but they feel pretty invincible right now on that defensive line, guys.
320 pounds, number 53 from Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Went to Oak Grove High School. You folks who like line play, watch, because South Carolina is going to have to help their center tonight at times against Taylor. He is a flat load. Davis. And now helmet comes off of a Vanderbilt player, Cunningham, and we get word that Robinette, and of course he'll have to come out having lost his helmet for a play, but we get word that Robinette is going back to the South Carolina locker room.
Wow.
And that will probably mean they wanted to use him anyway, that Wade Freebeck, the true freshman, let's see if this is where he got hurt.
Yeah, you got to think so. This is a big run on 3rd down. Take a look as the head hits the ground.
Artificial turf.
Yeah, you worry, we don't know what it is. You worry about concussions. The staff right now taking precautionary measures, taking him inside to check him out. Have to sit back and wait and see.
Well, everything is going backwards for Carolina here at the start. It is a perfect spot for a trap game. You're coming off a wonderful performance and a victory over Georgia. You got Missouri coming in. You think that Vanderbilt, okay, they lost to Temple. They finally beat UMass. Well, let's see what happens. And here they are, down 14. Here comes pressure from the edge. Penalty flag is thrown.
Personal foul, hands to the face. Number 77 of the defense, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
That's Liallo, freshman out of Sacramento, California, who came to Vanderbilt because of their music school.
We talked about the key matchup in this game, right over the center, and the 314 pounds of him. I was watching that live, wondering how the center not got moved off the ball so easily. Well, there's your answer.
So we'll bring down the curtain on a first quarter. For South Carolina, it's one to forget. And for Vanderbilt, it's their best quarter of the young season. A 3-touchdown underdog. And they lead favored South Carolina 14-0 here at the end of the first. Written all over it. Already Missouri picked off by Indiana at home. You liked Mississippi State tonight.
I picked them to win that game early this year, and the reason why was the inexperience that offense at the skill positions that we saw at LSU. Very, very heralded recruits, but they have not yet this year played against the defense like Mississippi State. And Dak Prescott, we talk about as a dark horse candidate for the Heisman, all the experience surrounding him. I'm telling you, this could be the year for Mississippi State in the SEC West.
South Carolina starts the second quarter with a swing pass to the outside. And they get one of their big fellas involved. That's running back Mike Davis. And you were making the observation during the commercial that you thought Steve would go back to the run here.
He needs to. He needs to get the ball back in the hands of Mike Davis and his running back Brandon Wilds. This offensive line is supposed to be the best in the Steve Spurrier era at South Carolina. They're the reason why they won that game last week against Georgia. So they got to get back to doing what they do best, and that's toting the rock.
Well, here's a 3rd and 2. Davis got it and breaks the daylight, crosses the midfield. Just what you said, Jesse. Cunningham with the stop.
He's a violent runner. At 5'9", 223 pounds, he's a load. He's physical. He wants to run through you. I think what makes him so dangerous, he's got a lot of speed. You see, arm tackles aren't going to do it. And he's had 4 runs in his career of over 50 yards. Right there, he was potentially 1 tackle away from taking that to the house.
Taylor back at the nose, down the middle, caught at the 28-yard lines. Cooper makes the play for the Gamecocks. McIntosh brings him down.
He's been making plays all year. They have a lot of different ways to get him the ball. Jet sweeps, wildcat, quick game to line him up at running back. And here he is in the slot working over the middle of the field. He's a bigger target, one of the bigger receivers South Carolina has. That was a nice high point on that catch.
Davis stuffed in the middle, and McGasker, who has been able to come up on run support, and this is going to be 2nd and long, a passing situation here.
You know, Vanderbilt made some personnel switches coming into this game. They moved true freshman Nephi Lealo up to the defensive end spot. They moved Caleb Azubike, who's playing defensive end, moved him back to the outside linebacker spot, trying to get bigger bodies on the field to deal with this offensive line from South Carolina. Looked very, very physical right there at the point of attack.
Gerald Adams over to the left side as one of the tight ends. Rory Anderson, who caught a touchdown pass against Georgia, is on the right side. 2nd down and 10. Thompson down the field, incomplete. Cooper, the intended target.
One of the things Vanderbilt wanted to do on defense was force Dylan Thompson to throw into very small windows. They haven't done a very good job of that early this year because they haven't always gotten pressure, and this secondary has struggled in coverage. But you've seen so far tonight for Dylan Thompson to make these throws, it's been tight spots. He's had to put it in. So here's a big 3rd down right now. And again, thinking about pressure, look at that matchup over center right here. This is really key. The true freshman 77, Lealo, looks like he's back out there.
Wiles checks in as a South Carolina running back. He's number 22, coming off a big game. He to pass protect. Thompson has to roll left, tough throw, got a man, and that was Anderson. Incomplete, waved off. Working that far sideline, the official right there, and he calls it incomplete.
It was really close, Brent. You got to watch his toes. Right when he catches this pass, you're going to see his legs switch. Yeah, see right there? It looks like the right and left toe are touching that sideline, and if they are, he's out of bounds. That's a very good call by the officiating crew. Just take another look right here. This is really close, but you see the official's in perfect position. He's got his eyes right down on his feet.
Matt Moore, the official, his crew. Here comes a 45-yard field goal attempt by Fry, and he puts South Carolina on the scoreboard. A classic. Arkansas, Kentucky, 2003. 7 overtimes, tied an NCAA record for the longest football game ever played. FCC Rewind, Arkansas, Kentucky, Sunday at 10 p.m. on SEC Network. Well, let's see if we got a rewind here with Darius Sims. He's the young man who went 91 yards with the opening kickoff. Hard to kick it away. Sims stands in his own end zone. He's going to come from deep. 20. And he made it out to the 26, 27-yard line. So now these are the 4 young men who have played quarterback this season, Jesse. We expect Wade Freebeck to come in, right?
Yeah, there were a lot of critics from Derek Mason regarding the way he handled the quarterback situation early this year. The offense didn't have a rhythm. They didn't know who their leader was. They burned Wade Freebeck's red shirt. He started the game against UMass, only played 3 series, and then they pulled him in favor of Robinette. Well, those 3 series now are invaluable for this young true freshman. At least he has a little bit of experience to draw upon facing a big-time SEC opponent.
Seymour is the eye back. See what Durrell does with the young man, the freshman, St. Thomas Aquinas. They go to Seymour with a good run out to the 31-yard line. And again, Robinette on this run, watch the helmet. We presume that this is why the young man was taken back to the locker room, and we certainly hope that he's okay and even able to return. Now, Freebeck, after the Mississippi rout here at the Titan Stadium, he came to the coaching staff and said, I'd like to play. Give me a chance. Doesn't lack confidence. Played for a big-time program down south of us in Jupiter. Played down at St. Thomas Aquinas down Davie, Florida. So this is Freebeck. His first pass of the game. Play action complete. How about that young man? That's Shoy, Stephen Shoy, the tight end.
The defense expects them to run the ball. They got a true freshman in the game, has struggled in his one outing against UMass. So why not use play action? Move the pocket. And not only that, give him an easy completion to the tight end. Get this young guy's confidence going. Try and get him in a groove. I've been really impressed with Carl Durrell and the play calling so far early in this game for Vanderbilt.
And the big Griffin was given chase that time. Kelsey Griffin. He's a 300-pounder, and Freebeck stayed away from him. Shifting the formation before the snap. Seymour breaks across midfield. That South Carolina defense is reeling again, Jess.
They're on their heels, and it's because of the blocking up front from Vanderbilt. You know, you go back, you can watch their game against Ole Miss. They got blown out of the water, but they ran the ball well against a bigger, more physical defense, and they're doing that right now in this game as well. Again, simple zone stretch play outside. Nice job by Seymour, showing you the vision, the patience. He led their team last year with 14 touchdown runs. Had a bit of a knee injury that slowed him down. Didn't play a lot early this season. Right now, spelling Ralph Webb. Doesn't matter who's back there. They're all getting their yards.
First down and 10. That's Durrell's son in motion, incidentally, number 18. Coming right back with Seymour. And, you know, as you watch Freebeck's footwork, he's good.
Pretty good.
Yeah, he's got experience as a quarterback. When you watch him pull out, and just his demeanor is interesting to me watching him.
He's got a lot of tools. I think this staff really believes in him. And the plan anyways was for him to play one series in this game in the first half. It wasn't obviously in these circumstances or situations. But this coaching staff wanted to get him reps because they want to bring him along. They think he could be the answer long term for this program. And as you said it, Brent, he's well coached up. St. Thomas Aquinas, that's no joke down in Florida.
You better believe it. 6'5", 212 pounds. Webb checks in as his running back. Fumble the snap. Loose, and I think Webb went for it.
This is one thing I saw.
Who got it was Webb.
Brent, I saw this on the sidelines.
You did. You said he was fumbling snaps.
We were in a commercial break, and I'm looking down there, and I'm saying, all right, is Freebeck going in? And he had this problem a couple times. You see they're not bellying the football once he has it in his hands, being a little bit lackadaisical.
What should he do immediately?
You got to bring that ball into your belly right now. Right? Yeah, because there's linemen getting pushed back. You got running backs coming potentially in play action. Ball security now is at a premium. So 3rd and long. You got to be careful. You don't want him to take a shot unnecessarily down the field. You got to protect your quarterback with a play call here. So I'm thinking draw or screen if I'm South Carolina.
Jailbreak rush. Freebeck got time and threw high. Great protection.
Yeah. They took care of that blitz up front, gave the young true freshman an opportunity to make that throw. You can see the arm strength in the arm talent. It's apparent. He knows it. That's a throw he should have hit. Had Rayford wide open on the curl route, but he's got to calm down right now. Understand this is a long game, and there's a very good chance he's going to be going the distance.
Meanwhile, Farrah Cooper back to return this punt for South Carolina. South Carolina can climb right back in the thick of things with a touchdown drive here. 9:14 to go in the first half. Punts it away and off the side of his foot and out of bounds. Let's see where it's going to be marked. At the 21-yard line is where South Carolina will put it in play. Broadway, one of the best streets in America. Jesse, you and I. Football is so much a game of big plays. A lot of folks try to break it down statistically. I prefer the big plays. None bigger than that 91-yard kickoff return for a touchdown for Vanderbilt. And then it was Robinette on that well-designed pass play to Duncan. Up by 2. Meanwhile, Jeff, South Carolina's made a lot of mistakes.
Had a lot of issues, obviously, on the opening kickoff. That's the glaring one on the touchdown they allowed. But defensively, they've allowed long drives. Offensively, they haven't been as sharp or as accurate in the passing game with protections bad on third down. This is not Williams-Brice Stadium. A lot of young players, especially on defense for South Carolina. They got to wake up quickly. And Brent, we have to give credit to Vanderbilt. They are playing with their hair on fire right now. Give Derek Mason and his staff a lot of credit for getting them ready to roll.
It's against South Carolina. Another error.
Full start. 81 on the offense. 5-yard penalty. First down.
That's a senior. Anderson.
That's not what you expect. And Brent, it's not very loud. You can't fault that with communication, so you can't hear the quarterback.
At that end of the field, there are more South Carolina fans than Vanderbilt fans. Wilds, who checked in, he bolts out to about the 19, and Vince Taylor, there's the young man we're going to be talking about throughout the night.
This is the one matchup that Vanderbilt has the advantage all game long. Vince Taylor starts for any of Derek Mason's Stanford defenses. That's how good he is. 323 pounds low to the ground. Close grip benches 455 pounds, and he can jump 33 inches.
We'll make a living in the NFL. Good nose man. Look at that push. Coming all the way, and he got it off to Cooper. Still going after the first down. And close to the 40-yard line. And that was well done by Dylan Thompson with Taylor breathing fire.
No doubt about it. Having to make throws under duress. And you get the feeling watching this game, a lot of that pressure is going to come right in his face. But it's a nice job understanding where he wants to go with the football. Just watch up front. There's Taylor, 53. Doesn't matter who's in front of him, getting push. That ball barely gets out. You get it into the hands of one of their big playmakers, Cooper, able to make a guy miss.
Wiles again, big hole, bursts free to the 41-yard line, and Tarpley may have saved a touchdown.
This is now a 2 running back system in South Carolina. Mike Davis got all the hype in the preseason with good reason, but if you watch Brandon Wiles run against Georgia, 99 yards, this is why. Physical, north-south, not trying to cut, he will run through you, bringing an added physical dimension to this running attack.
Wiles again, and that time that was Woods. Jay Woods, who was ready for him.
They got to trust it. They got to keep with it. They got to keep the ball on the ground and try and wear Vanderbilt down up front. This offensive line, these last 2 games with the game on the line, had to ice games. They did that by running the football. It's the strength of this offense still. We've seen some plays from Farrell Cooper in this game early outside, but keep the ball on the ground if you're South Carolina. Trust it.
Passing numbers, 2nd and 10. Steps away. Thompson has to go underneath to the safety valve receiver that night. Weatherly makes the play on the running back who had slipped out. Weatherly had a huge play in the 4th quarter last week. Blocked a punt and scooped it and scored.
They're going to need him to be more physical. He's a very good pass rusher, but he's been soft against the run. That's going to be huge tonight. So here we go. Another critical 3rd down. Important South Carolina is able to answer. Generate some points, start getting some of this momentum back. Where's Farrell Cooper? Up here in the slot.
Mike Davis. Davis, first down. Across the 30 to the 28-yard line.
You know, the reason I like South Carolina running both Mike Davis and Brandon Wiles, they're similar styles, a little bit different. Both physical. Davis can wiggle, make you miss. Brandon Wiles wants to run right over you, but both of these guys can play every down. They can pass protect, they can catch, and I think they help spell each other. That's been an issue in the past for Mike Davis. Last year, in about the month of November, started to wear down, so it's important both these guys play.
Thompson on first down. Goes for it all. Touchdown, Bird. Order is being restored in Nashville. The Gamecocks strike.
Talked about Demir Bird, one of the fastest players in college football, getting behind the freshman Trey Bell. And he's a guy, Trey Bell, number 4, who's been picked on here recently for Vanderbilt.
I would guess that John Bible, longtime referee, and he's a replay official, he may want to take an extra look at that. As I saw that replay, I want to make sure he had
on
possession.
the field with a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
You bet John wants to rewind that to make absolutely certain that Bird had complete possession of that ball as he went out of the back of the end zone.
Let's take another look. Bird gets behind the defender. Ball's deflected into his hands. When does he have complete control of the ball? He's got a couple feet down right there. Is there any...
If he sees movement coming back over that line, he may wave this off. It's going to be up to John Bible, who's one of the best referees in the SEC over the last few decades. His call.
You've got to have complete and continuous control throughout the process of the catch. They're going to be looking at that there. There, the ball right now against his belly, squeezing it. He's got a couple feet down. Now remember, you need indisputable video evidence to overturn that call. And Brent, as I'm watching that, I don't know if I see that necessarily. Ruling on the field is a touchdown. Unless they see anything else, I expect that to stand.
Matt Moore will tell us as soon as he gets the word from upstairs.
After further review, the ruling on the field stands. Touchdown.
Like you said, there was not enough evidence to overturn it.
Yeah, I think it's a very good call. I think it's a very good answer by Dylan Thompson, Steve Spurrier, and this offensive staff, having to make a play, mixing in the run, taking some shots down the field. They needed that one bad. Try to quiet this crowd, get some momentum back.
And they close now to within 4. So Dylan Thompson, this is his 9th touchdown pass of the season. And it came at the right time here in Nashville. And in case you missed it now, video of the touchdown is now posted on the SportsCenter app, available on your mobile devices and tablets whenever you need it. They are at the half in Baton Rouge. LSU trailing Mississippi State 17-3. Arkansas leads Northern Illinois 28-7. Here Vanderbilt's lead has been trimmed by South Carolina, but they're still up 14-10, and their freshman quarterback is about to come back on the field. Sims has been dangerous so far on the kickoff returns. One a touchdown, the other out beyond the 25. So they decide to go short, and it's fielded at the 10 by Rivers, Dallas Rivers. That didn't work out so well. He comes up to the 34. Let's check in down below with Maria Taylor.
Brent, freshman quarterback Wade Freebeck is looking for insight wherever he can get it, and former Vanderbilt quarterback Jordan Rogers is on the sideline. He walked up to him and said, man, hey, what are you seeing? And Jordan basically told him, just trust your footwork. Don't try to do anything crazy. You're fine. Just stay calm out there. So he's also getting some insight from some veterans that are here on the sidelines, guys.
Maria, you got to wonder just how much has this playbook now shrunk for play caller Carl Durrell. A lot of young guys on the field anyway, but now all of a sudden, true freshman. He's only played 3 series of football before coming in tonight. How much does that handcuff him?
Ralph Webb gets the toss, tries to get the edge on the left side, and South Carolina wouldn't give it to him. Good defense. Bryson Williams, number 12, outstanding defensive back for the Gamecocks.
And Brent, there's so much unfamiliarity on this entire Vanderbilt team. New staff, new schemes. We talked about all the young players and new starters. this is a work in progress. This staff is still trying to figure out what their players can and can't do. Their playbook week 1 against Temple is way bigger than what the playbook coming into tonight was anyway. They've cut back a lot on offense and defense, tried to simplify things. They're going to find out a lot about their potential future QB in Wade Freebeck right now. 31
freshmen have played for Vanderbilt. That's #1 amongst all the teams in the FBS. Play action, Freebeck in trouble. Fires out, and it was a well-thrown ball that time to Webb, the running back. And Golaiti makes the play for South Carolina.
And it was a smart decision. Not having anything downfield. You got a little bit of pressure in your face. You got to move to your right. Just throw the check down to your running back, Webb. Set up a manageable 3rd and down. It gives you confidence as a play caller when your young quarterback is making decisions like that.
They're going to like when they look at the tape, South Carolina, when they see what English is doing. For Lorenzo, bringing a little heat that time.
I'd bring it here too. Force this young quarterback to prove to me he can make plays in critical down and distances.
They've got 7 up on that line now, peering in, and here they come. The blitz, they hit him on the release, goes far side, incomplete. C.J. Duncan was well covered by Bryson Williams.
That was perfect coverage by Bryson Williams. You'd mentioned he got moved back to the safety position to help these guys get lined up and have some experience back there. You're taking a look at this again. You see some pressure. It's coming from the edge. He's got to get rid of this ball really quickly. And that's a pretty good throw considering under duress, but nowhere to put the ball. C.J. Duncan not able to give his quarterback space, and that's because he was completely blanketed by Bryson Williams.
Farrah Cooper back deep again. Colby Cook from Goochland, Virginia, well punted for Vanderbilt. Beautiful punt, but it goes into the end zone. .62 yards, almost down inside the 5. To hear Booger say, anchor down. Booger, we won't see those shirts. They've been banned by the SEC.
I used to never like to see Booger, especially when he was sacking me back in the day. I feel a lot safer here, miles and miles away.
Mike Davis is the running back. Chance to take the lead before the intermission. Need an 80-yard drive. Quick pitch to Jones on the outside, and he's got 9 yards on first down. Cunningham with the stop.
So many different ways this South Carolina offense can stress you. They can run it physically, conventionally with Mike Davis and Brandon Wilds. They can take shots deep down the field with the speed they have, or spit it outside wide and force you to make tackles in space. They really force you to cover the entire width and length of the field.
2nd down and 2. Davis. And he crosses the 40-yard line to the 44. Bowden with the stop.
This is smart. Running behind their best side of the offensive line, behind left tackle Corey Robinson at 344 pounds and A.J. Kahn, left guard, one of the most experienced linemen in the country, getting great push. That's the best side, and that's the best place for South Carolina to go tonight and every week when they decide to tote the rock.
Robinson, the offensive lineman of the week for his performance against Georgia, and they go over behind him again. Across the 45-yard line here. Spurrier and the Gamecocks with plenty of time.
And I like this, Brent. Run the ball. These guys show up for you. If you're Steve Spurrier, you saw that against Georgia when they had to run it 42 times last week to get that win. Those two guys I just pointed out, Corey Robinson and A.J. Kahn, those guys are big-time future NFL starters. Trust them. Wear this Vanderbilt front 7 down with this guy, Mike Davis, who's going to be running on Sundays too one day.
Vanderbilt shows pressure. They get loose on Thompson, who steps away to the left. And he'll wisely step out of bounds.
Dylan Thompson can run. He's not Connor Shaw, something we're used to seeing the last couple years, but he can extend plays and avoid the disaster plays. And you saw that right there. Avoiding the sack, setting up more 3rd and manageable. And hey, listen, a couple 3rd downs, in this game already we thought were passing downs. We saw Steve Spurrier dial up the run play, and Vanderbilt got gashed. So this is a bit of a cat and mouse game right now if you're Derek Mason, this Vanderbilt defense.
Needs to reach the 47 to move the chains here on 3rd down and keep this drive alive. Coaches have had a chance to look at the Vandy defense. 3rd and 6, rush 4. Receiver covered. Now he steps away, almost picked off. Dangerous throw to the tight end Anderson, and McIntosh almost robbed him.
Well, Dylan Thompson wanted to work a slant route to the top of the screen, the left side of the formation. When I was watching it live, I initially thought he had an open window, decided to hold on to the football. You saw that escapability, but you got to be careful. He almost got away there, potentially throwing a pick. And now Vanderbilt's going to get one more possession here before the end of the half.
Nellis is back deep. That's a big defensive stand,
big time,
for the Commodores. South Carolina looked like they had something going coming out from their own 20. Fair catch. At the 13-yard line, 1:48 remaining. And a reminder now, weekdays, ESPN Radio's Paul Feinbaum shares opinions on SEC football, deep knowledge of the conference. Interact Paul Feinbaum Show, weekdays at 3 p.m. I want to hear Jesse from New York. Call Paul one of these days.
Hey, I was on with him this offseason. I got to do that for Bristol, of course. You know, that guy. I'll tell you what, that guy's the mayor. I mean, he's the governor of Alabama in that state. Those are his people.
He runs hot and cold with Coach Spurrier.
Yeah, he does. A lot of people do. I did too as a quarterback.
Here comes Webb. He's the running back behind the freshman. I don't think that Durrell will take any. Breaks free. Webb to daylight. I thought he was down. What a tough, good-looking runner. Ralph Webb, redshirt freshman from Gainesville, 20 yards.
He runs angry. Grew up in Gainesville. Wasn't recruited by any of the big programs in Florida. He runs a lot tougher and more physical than his height and weight suggests, and you see that right there.
Boy, South Carolina defensive player, not going to like looking at that play.
No.
1st down and 10. That shift, that tight end, the power over to the right side. And they come back inside of it. Close to midfield. They got 1:08 now. They've got timeouts. Can they get down close enough to attempt a field goal here?
And Brent, Vanderbilt using those multiple tight end sets up front. And they're getting great push from Steven Shaw and Davis Duchak on the right side. They're able to get that edge. Will Holden at tackle, getting push outside, sets up a crease for Ralph Webb. And this defensive line that we talked about for South Carolina that needs to step up and make plays. It's not just about pass rushing. You've got to be better at the point of attack in the run game.
It could be saying Ertz and Freener.
Yeah, Tuilolo.
First charge time.
All those former Stanford tight ends. Coach Mason out there on the staff. Hired originally by Jim Harbaugh. 14-10, Vandy. Robinette was shaken up running the ball. He obviously is being checked for a possible concussion back inside the locker room, and we hope that that situation is going to be okay. 1st down and 10. Seymour is the running back. Gets the handoff. Left side opens a hole. They're across midfield, Jesse. They got 44 seconds. They got to hurry it up now.
Got to hurry up now. 2-minute situation. This is the first time that Freeback has been in this type of situation ever in a live game. You have to understand time management. You see here the coaching staff calling a timeout. There looked like there was some confusion up there at the line of scrimmage with the young signal caller. This is kind of uncharted waters if you're Vanderbilt.
30-second timeout.
South Carolina's defense over there huddling with the coaches on Coach Spurrier's sideline. And you can see after Texas A&M and Georgia.
And don't forget East Carolina, Brent. I mean, in fairness to them, they faced 3 big-time offenses. But for Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator, not having a consistent pass rush, not being able to get penetration in the run game, a lot of youth in the secondary, missing tackles, getting picked on at times in the passing game. They've had an issue, a plethora, you might say, of problems and issues. And right now, again, backs against the wall. They've been on their heels. Vanderbilt's had their way, especially when running the football.
34 seconds, and they start to move here on the snap. Freebeck hit on the release. It's intercepted. Down the sideline goes Williams. Bryson Williams. Touchdown, South Carolina. There's only one question. Is there any chance he was out of bounds? Coach Mason's pointing at the sideline at about the 46-yard line. You take a look.
This throw was way late by the true freshman quarterback, and that allowed Bryson Williams to get the jump. Now take a look at the feet. He's inbounds there, inbounds there. That's a house call, Brent.
Carolina.
That is a house call. And there's going to be growing pains with a young quarterback. As we take a look at this again, great job by Bryson Williams, who we mentioned got moved to safety, coming up with that play. Wow.
Tacking on the extra point. So one of those big plays that we talk about, and one of the better defensive backs in this conference, a senior from Warner Robins, Georgia, Bryson Williams, Northside High School, 53 yards, and Carolina leads for the first time tonight. A game changer.
We talked about the young quarterback, Brent, understanding situations in a 2-minute offense, and you can't be late on an out-breaking route at this type of juncture in the game. If you're not sure about it, you got to throw that football away, and all of a sudden, a 4-point lead is gone. As we go back and take a look at this, see Freebeck here getting coached up on the sidelines, but to take a look in the slot here at the bottom of the screen, right now the ball's got to come out. He's open. And he just waits and hesitates a split second, and that allows the experienced Bryson Williams to jump in front of the errant throw and take that to the house. You cannot throw ever out-breaking routes late. Against DBs like this in the SEC, in this league, they'll turn that into 7 points. Ball's got to come out way before this.
That was Cedric Cooper who was putting the heat on. Cedric Cooper deserves big credit for that. He's a junior from Georgia, too. And now for the final 22 seconds, they do not want to give Sims a chance.
That was a huge play for South Carolina with respect to the momentum, because remember, they're going to get the ball back now in the second half first. So Bryson Williams gets moved back to safety because they have some issues with communication, with the motion. They wanted to get lined up. It cost them at times against Georgia. It was a great move by Lorenzo Ward, Steve Spurrier, and the staff, and it pays dividends here tonight.
Now Freebeck. Final 19 seconds here. South Carolina with 17 unanswered points takes the lead late in the first half in Nashville. Very content just to run out the final seconds here. Ralph Webb getting the carry, and they'll head to the locker room. Surrendering their lead late on the Bryson Williams interception. Let's go to Maria Taylor with Coach.
Coach, a late interception from your freshman quarterback. What did you see on that play?
They just took too much time in the pocket, let it go late, stared at it, and, you know, where it went.
Well, he's been in majority of the half. What's the best way to put him in a situation to be successful?
Well, man, we've got to make sure, man, that we can still continue to run the football and make sure, man, that the throws that we manufacture for him are throws that he feels comfortable with.
Well, your starter, Patton Robinette, he went back into the locker room. Will he be able to return in the second half?
I don't know that, so I'll find out when I go in.
All right, thanks.
Thank you.
The end of an interesting first half. 91 yards with the opening touchdown. Up by 14, but Carolina storms back. They lead at 17-14. Now let's send you to the studio. pickers in the world come through Nashville. Music capital. And it was a pick six at the end of the first half here, Jesse Palmer, that kind of turned things around for South Carolina.
A little bit of a tale of two quarters, if you will. We talked about how South Carolina could not come into this environment and start sleepwalking early. And that's exactly what happened from the very first play of this game. Darius Sims for Vanderbilt does a tremendous job taking this opening kickback all the way to the house to put Vanderbilt up 7-0. But maybe the play of the game so far. A few drives later, quarterback Patton Robinson here on the big play gets a big hit, kind of shaken up, stays in the game. Patton Robinette, big play, stays in the game and finds C.J. Duncan outside to put him up 14-0, and that's when South Carolina finally woke up. Dylan Thompson going downfield, finding Demir Bird in the back of the end zone, and then late with a 4-point lead, the true freshman quarterback Friedbeck late throwing the ball to the flat. Bryson Williams, nice job tight roping the sidelines, makes him pay, and gave South Carolina the lead going into halftime.
Our only turnover of the game, and it was a biggie. Led to the touchdown for South Carolina, and they have the lead, and they will get the football to start the second half. And we have not seen Robinette and Maria. What's the latest on the Vanderbilt quarterback?
Derek Mason said that Robinette will not be able to return here in the second half at all. And he might be able to return the sidelines, but will not be in the game, Brent.
Cute. Maria, obviously, they're going to check for a possible concussion. He took a nasty fall on a run. His head bounced off the artificial turf. And so it's going to be up to their true freshman, Wade Freebeck, to see what he can do. Meanwhile, Dylan Thompson on the Carolina sideline, now with a lead. Carson is back deep for Carolina, standing on the Gamecock goal line. You see him there. That will come out. Touchback. And Maria, what did Coach Spurrier have to say?
He said he hopes his team is finally awake at this point in the game. He said Vanderbilt just came out. They played better than us, but he was also disappointed in the pass protection that his offensive line was giving Dylan Thompson in the first half. Said they want to continue to take their shots, but they're going to have to make plays on the perimeter in the second half.
Alan Knott is the center of that offensive line. The strength. Cannon Robinson on the left. Waldrop is out, so Sport has been playing in there along with Shell on the right side. And their hands are full with that nose man, number 53, Vince Taylor, and his backup, Leallo, the freshman from California, also played well. Mike Davis here will open the rotation for Coach Spurrier. Quick hitch to the outside, and Roland picks up about 4 yards. McAster makes another stop.
And Brent, I think in the big picture now, if you're Vanderbilt, you made a crucial mistake at the end of the first half to give South Carolina the lead. The margin for error, if you're Derek Mason and Vanderbilt, is already really small. With all the youth, all the inexperience they have in their team, they now must play flawless football in the second half if they're going to pull this one out.
Defense is Coach Mason's specialty. Was the coordinator out at Stanford under Coach Shaw. Davis steps to the left and battles for a first down before Bowden can wrestle him to the ground.
And get ready to see this, Brent. Running the football to the left side of that offensive line. You mentioned it. Corey Robinson and A.J. Kent. That's the best side of this offensive line. And remember, the last two games, East Carolina and Georgia, in the second half when they had leads, they had to ice the wind. That's where they were running the football. So Mike Davis and Brandon Wiles, there should be a lot of play calls going to that side when they decide to run the football here this half.
Going to put it up on first down. Drops it off to his safety valve in the middle of the field on first down, and that's Davis, who slipped out, the running back. Bowden with another stop.
I was going to say, Brent, Steve Spurrier's got a lot of confidence in his quarterback, Dylan Thompson. To me, the play calling, this is the most similar it's ever looked to the fun and gun in Florida since Spurrier's been here. It's not necessarily the execution, but the trust in Dylan Thompson to take shots on first down, deep down the field. If it's not there, Spurrier knows his quarterback's going to check it down, take the profit, and keep the offense on schedule.
2nd and 4 for Thompson. Cooper's to the left, and they're going to run to the right. Another first down. McGaster, he is one of the more talented defensive backs here at Vanderbilt, and the question has always been one of consistency. He's a sophomore, and of course he's still learning.
There's a lot of youth, a lot of inconsistency issues right now, Brent, because they've got 9 freshmen and sophomores that see extensive time, growing up on the move. Every day is a new day. Every day is a new challenge. They've certainly got their hands full here in the second half.
Running play on first down. Davis after a yard gain, and Baron Dixon making the stop.
You see this defensive front for Vanderbilt. They're trying to move a lot. They're stunting and they're twisting. You're going to see they're not just going to sit stationary. They're trying to slant because they don't want this bigger South Carolina offensive line to get their hands on them. So a bit of a cat and mouse game going on up front right now in the trenches.
Second and 10. Thompson to put it up. Drops it in underneath. Downfield receivers were covered, and Cooper had worked his way back. Make the catch.
We talked about how the key was the matchup over the center, Alan Knott. The true freshman Lialo is the reason on this play that Dylan Thompson had to check this football down. Take a look. Trying to get push up the middle. Thompson wants to go over the middle of the field. He gets the hand up. And that forced Thompson to tuck the ball back down and check it underneath to Pharaoh Cooper. Now setting up 3rd and medium.
Thompson has time. Throws for the first down to Rory Anderson from Powder Springs, Georgia.
It's another example of Dylan Thompson just making a smart decision. As you see Rory Anderson kind of slow getting up. Talking to quarterback coach G.A. Magnus here on the sidelines, but that time Dylan Thompson had a receiver running a deep corner route. It wasn't open. No need to force it. No need to take off running. Just check it down to the hitch route on the outside. It was an open throw. Move the sticks.
First down and 10 at the Vanderbilt 40-yard line. Davis has rushed for 49 yards here tonight. Fake to him and fumble. Ball's loose. Vandy trying to get it. It's a scrum. That was Emma Gaster, I believe, who jarred it loose that time. And that could be the tight end, and that would be Adams saving the day. He came out of that pile with the football. Vanderbilt had several shots at it. Take a look, folks.
Talked about this having to be a more consistent game for Torrin McGaster, doing a nice job using his eyes and playing physical. Checking this out again. Throw quick outside. I think he has possession of that football. Nick Jones does. That's a fumble on the play. Just kind of a scrum for it after. When I saw it live, I thought Vanderbilt had jumped back on it. But see this again. He's able to make a football move. Takes a couple steps. Starts changing took the football. Looks like he was moving it from his left hand to his right hand.
Bad news. McGaster is down for Vanderbilt and shaken up. He dove for the ball right there. Couldn't wrap it up.
Wow. You know what? And give Jarrell Adams credit. Look at that. Look at him going. He's got one right arm on the football. He's fighting for it. There's literally 3 Vanderbilt bodies over the ball, and somehow he's able to come up with it.
Credit the strength coach at South Carolina with that recovery.
What that?
Big 89 reached in there from Pinewood, South Carolina, Scotts Branch High School, and said, that ball belongs to me. Good play by 89.
You know, and almost a big break for Vanderbilt. And you think about where they are right now. Young team, again, inexperienced, playing with their backup quarterback, true freshman. You feel like something has to happen right for them. And that was a big opportunity right there. I think Steve Spurr, Jarrell Adams certainly in this team knows they just dodged a bullet.
And Ferguson replaces McGaster at that corner. Let's see if Spurrier goes right after him. 2nd down and 10. Swing pass, and Davis looking downfield before he made the catch.
So it's poetic justice almost. You know, they get lucky getting the ball back, and there's an easy catch. Mike Davis catches this 10 out of 10 times in practice. Ball hits the ground. Now you've got a 3rd and long. So again, if you're Vanderbilt now, dialing up the heat, someone's got to get back in Dylan Thompson's face and disrupt the rhythm in this passing game. They've done a pretty good job, and of course, it's always come from the middle of the field, right over top of their center, Alan Knott. They've been able to get good push. They got Adam Butler, big number 69 there, lined up now.
3rd and 10. Cooper's off to the left. Thompson, and the whistle blew. There is a penalty flag on the play.
False start. 53 of the offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
It's Corey Robinson, the left tackle.
Take a look again. Corey Robinson right out here. He's got some speed coming off the edge. Yeah, that was Caleb Azubike. He already has 4 sacks on the season. He poses a big problem on that edge.
3rd down and 15. 3 wide receivers. Play action. Got the man for the 1st down. Clutch throw by Thompson. Cooper. And they're going to give it to him. They're going to wind the clock right there and say he was out. Cooper might have been a little shaken up on the play, too.
Yeah, Jay Woods came off a stun on that play. We talked about the slanting defensive line and all the stunts and twists. He came free at Dylan Thompson. It was another example of a good throw under duress here at the last second, getting that out. Nice anticipation. There's Farrell Cooper. Crowd wanting a fumble. It looked like he did fumble as the ball was going to the ground there, Brent. Before number 32, Andrew Williamson, jumped back on that. Take
Watch
another look.
Ryan White, number 14.
The ruling on the field was a catch, and the runner was down. The previous play is under further review.
Ball's free before he's down.
I guess the hard part to know is if the whistle was potentially blown because his forward momentum had stopped, it appeared. I didn't hear anything from up here in the booth. We're going to go back and look at this again. But
Williamson dove on the ball. He's number 32. Moore able to strip it out.
So you see the referee there. He's got the whistle in his mouth. I just don't know if he blew it. I don't know if he blew the play dead before that football came out. He's winding the clock as if it had been a catch.
Yeah, Ryan White does a good job over there.
See this again? Yeah, ball comes out definitely before his elbow or his knee touches. Ball still in bounds.
And then number 32, Williamson, jumps on the ball. Andrew is one of the safeties, junior from San Antonio, and this is a tough call because, as you pointed out, the first thing Bible wants to know is what's the whistle situation down there.
Yeah, we talked about the break that Vanderbilt needed. Let's take a listen again at this and see if we can hear anything live. See if we can hear a whistle here on this play. Didn't hear a whistle there, did you?
I did afterwards.
Yeah, afterwards you did. But you know, if that's the case, then I think that's a fumble, and that should be Vanderbilt's ball.
Now remember, the receiver going out of bounds, then he touched the football back in the field of play. So be careful with this one. Because remember, the receiver reached back before Williamson secured the football. Watch now as Cooper goes out of bounds, and I want you to watch his hands. Now he is out of bounds. Now he's going to reach back, and he is the first person to touch the ball before Williamson secured it. He's out of bounds. Remember, he's out of play when he touches the ball. Remember this. Call a reception. The official right there is looking at it. He sees Cooper. Remember, that's why the whistle blew late. He watched Cooper touch the ball right there before he blew his whistle. That's really good officiating by the head linesman. He is really on top of this right now. So South Carolina is going to keep it And that was that headlinesman. That's Gary J. Rowe over there. And folks, that's major league officiating right there. That's by rule.
How about
it's
another,
down.
How about another big break for South Carolina in 3 plays? They had the fumble 2 plays before that. Mike Davis drops a pass. And on a big 3rd down, it appears they get the first with Pharoh Cooper. And just by, I mean, you talk about football being a game of inches, and that's how close that was. We expect it to be. Vanderbilt got the football back.
I didn't see any question that it was completed. I mean, I thought he caught the ball.
Absolutely.
But it came free, and then Cooper out of bounds, out of play, touches the football.
I think that's what Derek Mason's saying. You look at him over here on the right side of the screen. Did he get beyond the 1st down marker when he touched it? What's the call?
Yeah, they've got to now find the spot, the time, get things straightened out here.
Take a look and see where they might spot this here. At the 29-yard or 30-yard line, he kind of comes down. He's fighting towards the sideline. Ball comes out around the 29. No, at the 30.
He was twisting to get the 1st down.
Yeah.
Make sure that he got that, I believe. Wow. And the chains have already been moved on the field.
That is so close. I mean, he just gets there by a fraction of a second before Andrew Williamson jumps on that ball.
No question.
And like you said, Brent, this crew, this referee crew, officiating crew, right on top of it, right there. And, you know, you got to take your time, make sure the spot and everything else is right. There's a lot of different components and variables going into this review. You know, Steve Spurrier on the left, you see right now, I think his staff's probably telling him up top.
Let's see where they spot this.
Yeah, get some ball plays ready.
After review, the ruling is that the ball was completed catch, fumbled, and touched by a South Carolina player out of bounds. That constitutes a forward fumble out of bounds. The ball will be returned to the 29-yard line. It's 1st and 10.
Crowd doesn't like it, but that's the rule.
Take a look at it again. It's a catch, no doubt about that. It has possession. It's also a fumble, no doubt about that. Now, once he comes back and touches it, out of bounds, that's illegal. It's ruled as a forward fumble, and it's at that spot where that is, the 29-yard line. 1st down, South Carolina. Here we go.
And McGaster able to check back in now for Vanderbilt. He's down. He's the cornerback at the bottom of your screen, number 5. 1st down and 10 for Carolina. Thompson. End zone, touchdown, Shaq Rowland. Spurrier lethal. Now was the time to go for the juggler. Unhappiness on the other sideline. The break goes their way, and it's a 29-yard scoring strike for the head ball coach's quarterback, Dylan Thompson, to Shaq Rowland from Lexington, South Carolina. Elliott Fry tacks in the extra point, and the Gamecocks are suddenly up by 10. 24 unanswered after this touchdown, Jesse.
Great job of reading coverage by Dylan Thompson. You're going to see an in route by Pharoh Cooper. That takes the safety Williamson away. That leaves a big area in the middle of the field for Shaq Rowland to work on the post throw. It was a tremendous play call, great timing. Thompson gets it out on time. You can't throw it any more accurate than this, but you need time to throw it. And we talked about A.J. Nunn at center lined up against Vince Taylor. He's lost a lot of these balls, but watch the freshman fight. Going up against a man-child, and that allows Dylan Thompson the opportunity to get that throw off. Tremendous pass protection, tremendous route, tremendous throw. It's a beautiful play.
Landon Ard puts the ball on the tee for the Gamecocks. Sims, who returned our opening kickoff tonight, 91 yards per touchdown, standing there in the Vandy end zone. Sims going to get a chance from the goal line. 20, 25, got another rally. Can he make it 2 for the night? 30, 25. Oh, baby, again. A 100-yard kickoff return for a touchdown, and you left wondering, why give him another chance?
Let's go.
That's the first question any football man's got. You're playing with poison.
Don't ruin a great moment by doing something like that. Now we got to pick from the 20.
Darius Sims out of Memphis, Tennessee, 5'9", 182. Don't have to tell you, he could motor.
And just like that,
After
momentum.
the touchdown, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 6 of the return team. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. We have a sideline warning against South Carolina. That is their first sideline warning.
This crowd back in the game, aren't they?
Yeah, I'd like to see that little dance again that earned him the penalty. If you return 2 kickoffs for 2 touchdowns, are you entitled to a little end zone dance?
I mean, like,
Nashville.
I didn't see
Could have
it.
been the 2-step.
Was that the? I mean, was it a Dion or was it a?
I don't know. Add the extra point. We got to check it out.
All right, well, firstly, South Carolina is going to want to stop kicking the ball to Devin Hester, because this guy's killing him right now. You're going to surround it. Great block by 83. Follows 28 up into the hole, and there's just too much speed outside. We've seen this, just big gaps in the kickoff coverage unit.
Stick with him now.
Let's watch this now. Oh, let's see it again from the other angle. Good blocking up front. Speed to the outside, make one guy miss. House call. It's hard to get one kickoff return touchdown in your life. Yeah, no, I mean, listen, Brett, that's a penalty. If it's anything spontaneous, the referees are not supposed to call that, but you can't put the referees in the gray area. And I think it's what he did right there. By the book, that is drawing attention to himself. That is a penalty. You can, disagree.
I do.
you do. I'm just telling you, by the law.
I'm looking the other way on that one.
Let the kids play, right, Brad? Look at that. School record now. A 91-yarder in the opening kick and that 100-yarder. So, yeah, if you're South Carolina, you're going to want to stop doing that.
You have to kick from their own 20-yard line as a result of the penalty. Now, that's good news for South Carolina. With Carson back deep, he'd like to return the favor. Heat's on the coverage team on this one. From the 10, Carson. Middle return to the 34-yard line. Pretty good coverage. Let's go to the studio and Dari Noka. Dari.
Brent, watching Mississippi State, it is
from midfield on a straight run for a touchdown.
No doubt about it.
Jesse, you've liked him a lot.
Yeah, I had a chance to see him twice last year in person. I thought he'd be a dark horse candidate for the Heisman this year. Tremendous playmaking ability. A lot of big-time players like Jamion Lewis you saw right there surrounding him. I'm telling you, Dan Mullen, the Bulldogs, they're for real.
Davis bursts 11 yards on first down.
He just looks different. Remember, we saw him against Texas A&M. Remember, he had that rib injury, wasn't running 100%. But these last 2 games, East Carolina and Georgia, he's back, and he's running with a purpose. He's going to get his touches here in the second half. He should. He needs to.
Slowed before he could get back to the line of scrimmage. Herring, the linebacker, deserves credit for slowing him down.
And these 2 guys are familiar with one another, Brent. They both played together at Stevenson High School. Mike Davis and Darren Herring, both juniors. A lot of familiarity there. Interesting. You know, you got a little bit of that in this game here in the SEC. Nice little making reacquaintances in the backfield there.
Davis positioned off to the right. Thompson, incomplete. Rowland, the intended target, and that was Head. Paris Head was the defensive back.
We've seen a lot of receivers downfield for South Carolina, a lot more open than that. We talked about Vanderbilt having to close those windows. Paris Head, nice blanket coverage now. Setting up 3rd and long again. Dylan Thompson's had to negotiate the pocket a few times and make some accurate throws under duress. Again, Farrell Cooper has kind of been a go-to guy for him. He's lined up in the slot right now. Right up here. It's a guy he's looked for.
In trouble. And did the receiver get fouled on that comeback? When you throw short, sometimes a head ran into him. That's just one of those things when you underthrow a receiver and he comes back like that, you interfere with his progress and you're not looking at the ball, they're going to throw the flag on you.
Pass interference, 21 to the defense, 15-yard penalty from the previous spot. First down.
Well, this play starts with Dylan Thompson. I don't know how he avoided the pressure from Azubike. You're going to see Thompson in the back. We've said how he's had to negotiate this pocket, so that's a free shot for Azubike. He's able to get outside. He's also able to break away from Nigel Bowden, getting that throwaway and then taking a shot, and this is a great call. Paris Head is turned around. You see him pushing on Shaq Rowland. There's way too much contact, and yet another big 3rd down conversion in the passing game for Dylan Thompson in South Carolina.
Sean Carson has come in as the running back, and we get word that Rory Anderson, I believe, has gone off to the South Carolina locker room, their big tight end. That stop was made by Woods, Vandy. Number 77 is getting a lot of play time out there with that defensive line.
Yeah, he's a big-time guy, too, Brent. He was the number 4 ranked defensive end out of high school and was a Stanford commit, and Derek Mason was able to get him to Vanderbilt. He's a guy that they're going to help build around on defense. Talking about Leala, big-time guy right here lined up over the center.
2nd down and 8. And coming with their 3rd running back of the night, Sean Carson, a junior from Scranton, South Carolina, went to Lake City High School. 5'8", 200-pounder.
Brent, he's a change of pace back for South Carolina. We talked about the bigger, more physical guys and Davis and Wilds. He's got more speed and shifty. Had a 58-yard run last year against Florida. He can get out in a hurry. And right now we're seeing this offensive line. They're starting to kind of assert themselves up front. Bigger holes than we've seen earlier in this game.
Play action. Thompson fires far side. Rowland can't get it. Shaq Rowland was working against Andrew Williamson.
I think that's a good throw by Dylan Thompson. I think on this play, Shaq Rowland quit on the route. Almost looked to me like he stopped. You know, they had run this play a couple times with Farrell Cooper running the post on the inside and Rowland running the post as well. This time he just runs the post corner. You see here, I thought he kind of slowed down. You see how he wasn't full speed coming out of that break? I think had he kind of run through that ball better, not had the change of speed, I think that's a catch.
2nd down and 10 for the Gamecocks. Mike Davis returns as the running back. Throw to that far side, and is it loose? Still loose, and did it get out of bounds?
It did. It did. That's another break. That is amazing. 3rd time in the last 2 drives, Vanderbilt's had an opportunity to jump on a fumble. They're doing a great job creating them. He just can't finish, though. It's a good throw outside to Demir Bird. That's textbook tackling. And there's a lot of black jerseys around. He's just got to fall on the football. They're trying to scoop and score. Just got to get your body on top of it. Nick Aliotti, the old defensive coordinator for Oregon, he called those city fumbles and country fumbles. If it's a country fumble, it means there's no one around. Those are the ones you score. These are city fumbles. Too many bodies around them. You got to jump on the football. Just get your body on it. Man, oh man.
They want to see, first of all, if this is a completed pass.
Was a catch and a fumble that went out of bounds. The previous play is under further review.
I didn't think there was any question. I thought it was a catch all the way by Bird.
It's a catch all the way. It's a fumble all the way. And this should have been Vanderbilt football all the way. But you got one miss. Now you've got two misses. Well, you know what's interesting about that? If we see that again, look when 32 puts his hand on this football, Williamson, because he's got a knee on the ground. Did he ever have possession when he's going to try to scoop it? Watch right here. He's coming in. Knees down. Does he have the ball in possession when that right knee is down? They may take a look at that as well. It doesn't look from that angle like he did.
It's going to be an interesting look for the official.
Yeah.
There's no question his knee is down. Ball is jarred loose. That's a good play by Paris Head.
Oh,
sitting there.
And he has his left hand on it, and he goes to tuck it, and it goes right through his, kind of right between his armpit.
That's Williamson, number 32. He'll be the next player in for Vandy. He got it. Let's go. Oh. And I got to tell you, there was a South Carolina player who got his right hand in there at the end. Now watch the next Carolina player to come in on this play. Watch carefully now. Williamson there. Yeah. Right there is Bird.
It's Bird who fumbled it.
And Bird comes back. Now, was he out of bounds, and did he come back and attempt to make a play? There's a lot of things going on with this play, folks.
Well, and the first part is, did Bird have possession of the football in the first place?
Well, an incompletion would eliminate a lot of the secondary issues right now.
This is a much easier,
If you call this incomplete, you don't have to mess around with this scrum over here. Now watch Bird as he's driven down.
And as we look at this, again, it's just crazy. But again, the first component, the first thing they have to make sure of is if Bird in fact had possession. You see, right? Did he complete?
He might not have had total control.
Did he have complete?
When he turns on it, I think there's an issue of control.
Yeah,
with Bird.
I do too. I don't think it was. Yeah, it wasn't total control. It wasn't continuous throughout the process. Because of that, I think this might get ruled an incomplete pass.
Yeah, he turns, but he didn't get to take a full step before he was hit, and the ball jarred loose.
It was a tremendous job by Paris Head getting over there to get that out. But you know, he's South Carolina. They're playing with fire right now. We've seen 3 balls on the ground the last 2 possessions. A game like this, up 3 points on the road. Ball security has to be at a premium. And right now, it's not the running backs. It's guys out on the perimeter of the field, these wide receivers.
After further review, the ruling is that the pass was incomplete. The ball would be returned to the 27-yard line. Please set the game clock to 6 minutes and 52 seconds.
You know, it's interesting. Derek Mason and this defensive staff coach their players up on swarming to the football, ripping the ball out, creating turnovers. And it's apparent these kids have taken to that coaching. They've been all over the field tonight trying to be opportunistic.
And the question is the down right now, too. Remember, sometimes there could be confusion in this situation. I believe it's going to be a 3rd down. And the ball is back right there. 3rd and 10 from the 27-yard line. Mike Davis, the Carolina running back. They lead it by 3 over Vanderbilt. Incomplete, and that brings up a 4th down. Rolling the target.
Small windows, hard to get him in. Torian Ferguson that time, another freshman, another young player at cornerback, blanketed over Shaq Rowland. Steve Spurrier can't believe it. There's really only one place Dylan Thompson could have put that football. I think that's where he did, and that was a very tough catch. That would have been a tough catch for Shaq Rowland. Nice job on D.
Elliott Fry missed a 54-yarder, Jesse, when we were in Columbia. He hasn't missed since. This is a 43-yarder within his range. Right hash curls beautifully. 27-21. The lead is 6. Vanderbilt very much alive here in Nashville. Georgia Gamecocks go to Auburn now. Sunday doubleheader on the SEC network. And here the Gamecocks with a 6-point lead, 6:42 remaining. And while you were away, Spurrier is saying, now let's get this straight. That number 6, we might want to kick the ball away from him or through the end zone. Do we understand what's going on here? He's got 2 against us tonight now, lads. Let's toughen up a little bit.
Sidney Rhodes taking the brunt of that right there. Defensive back on the coverage unit. You got eyes watching you now. You got the head ball coach watching.
Here we go now. You can see that coming from a mile away, and it's free. At the 6, Sims goes down and pounces on the ball. Did not try to scoop it. He said, no, no. We're not going to make that kind of a mistake down here. Tough field position now for the freshman. If you weren't with us, the veteran, the sophomore, I should say, Patton Robinette went out with what appeared to be a head injury, unable to return here in the second half. So the freshman from St. Thomas Aquinas, right down in South Florida, Wade Freebeck.
You got to wonder, Brent. I mean, he hasn't seen the field at all in the second half so far because of the kickoff return touchdown for the last 8 minutes or so. He's just been hanging out in the sidelines.
Well, he's got Ralph Webb to hand it off to. They'll do just that. A couple of yards, and then he's thrown back by that Gamecock defense.
This is an area of the field that South Carolina is going to load the box, and they're going to try and get physical, and they're going to live with one-on-one matchups out on the perimeter of the field. You wonder if you want to, you obviously want to get this ball out of your own end if you're Vanderbilt. We always talk about as a play caller, Carl Durrell with a true freshman quarterback, just how aggressive can you be? Lorenzo Ward, defensive coordinator again. Blood in the water, you can smell it. This young quarterback wanting to dial up pressure, test him.
Rush 4, Freebeck takes a hit at the goal line, got an open receiver downfield, and that was Shoy. Stephen Shoy from Evansville, Indiana. One of his tight ends. Big clutch throw for the freshman.
That's putting a lot of confidence in your young quarterback back in his own end, but it's one of the best places on the field to take a shot because of those one-on-one opportunities. The young true freshman takes a hit and delivers a beautiful throw to his tight end Shoy down the field.
31 yards on that play. The freshman is 3 of 6 for 43 yards and 1 damaging interception at the end of the half. Trailing by 6, got breathing room out beyond the 35. Bring the end around now, and it's wide open. 40 and out of bounds. And that is number 10, Trent Sherfield, who came off for Carl Durrell, another of the freshmen. He's out of Danville, Illinois. Trent Sherfield, number 10.
Love the play call because of the fast flow. Watch how quickly South Carolina runs to the right with the handoff. Now you take advantage of that with Sherfield and his speed the other way. 2 consecutive explosive plays back to back. A second ago, they were backed up at their goal line. And all of a sudden now, driving with momentum.
Carl Durrell trusting his freshman. Moving those tight ends. Coming back with the bruising running back. And he crosses the 30-yard line with that effort. Ralph Webb. Ralph Webb tonight has rushed for 79 yards against the Gamecocks.
The Achilles heel for South Carolina all year long has been their defense. They've been getting gashed, bleeding points, and tonight, for the most part, they've been pretty good. They only gave up 7 points themselves. Remember, they've allowed 2 kick return touchdowns, but at this point of the game, this defense now has to clamp up. They've given up 2 explosive plays. They just completely flipped the field, Vanderbilt did. This D's got to make a play.
Meanwhile, LSU trailing Mississippi State. It's in the 4th quarter of that game. And here Freebeck couldn't find a receiver, so he's going to take it off. And he is out of bounds, and that was English, number 5, the defender down there. The ball's going to be spotted at the 25-yard line.
But I love that decision by Freebeck. I think against UMass a few weeks ago, he takes a shot and forces that ball into coverage. This time, understanding, hey, if it's not there, I'm either checking it down or I'm getting out of dodge. Going to go try and get this first down with his feet. A couple big plays on this drive now for the young true freshman. That should be helping his confidence, kind of growing up before our eyes a little bit here.
On first down, nothing doing but a good stick by Jonathan Walton.
Textbook tackle is all you can say about this. Defensive line eating up bodies, allowing the linebackers to run free, and that's just mano-a-mano in the hole, wrap up, scoop, slam. That is beautiful. We check this out real time. Put that on the reel. That looks like a young Brent Musburger right there.
Second down and 10. Inside of 3 minutes here in the third quarter. Gamecocks bring pressure. Freebeck stands tall. End zone incomplete. Penalty. Interference is going to be the call. It's going to be on Bryson Williams.
Pass interference, defense, number 12, 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
I'm not sure, Brent, if he was throwing this ball to the left. Look at Shoy right here. He's going to be running the post. I think that's what he was trying to hit on this play, to kind of release all three tight ends. It looks like that was where he was looking, and when he got hit, the trajectory of the football changed. But as you go back, it's a lucky break. That is pass interference. That's an easy call to make. Was Trey Wilkins on the catch? Kind of a fortuitous moment for Vanderbilt, and they're due for one. After the last couple of series, we've seen misfortune not recovering fumbles.
So now it is first down and goal. Ralph Webb is the running back, number 26, and they direct snap to him on the Wildcat in this formation. He's going to run behind the left, the center and left guard, breaks a tackle, still going. Tough run.
His legs never stop moving, and I think that's what makes him such a tough runner. He's low to the ground anyway as a little guy, but what can you say about this drive in the big picture, how Vanderbilt has responded here? Again, this is their first drive of the half. Behind a true freshman quarterback, they were backed up inside their own 5-yard line, down 6 points, trying to take back the league. You got to love what you're seeing if you're head coach Derek Mason and his staff.
Seymour, the running back, power I. Move the H back over to the left side and now bring blocking help over there for the power of the formation. Seymour cuts through the middle and he's down to the 2-yard line. And here's your third down and goal.
Now, if Robinette's in the game still at quarterback, I would say this would be a quarterback run. It could be a shotgun formation with a quarterback power, extra blocker at the point of attack. I don't think Freebeck is the same type of runner. So this might be a little bit more of an obvious situation with South Carolina potentially expecting play action pass, move the pocket. Interesting to see what Carl Durrell, their offensive coordinator, and Derek Mason can dial up here.
Williams, the fullback. Webb's the I-back. Here's Webb, left side, thrown back. It's going to be fourth down and goal, and decision time now for Coach Mason. He's down 6. He's got a minute to go in the third quarter.
He's going for his field goal unit, I think. You know, you're going to hear boos from the crowd. You know, it's a tough spot to be in if you're Derek Mason. You know, young team. You know, you want to do things to show confidence in them. You've had success running the football so far, but I think having to understand the situation of the game, getting a field goal here, makes this a 3-point game again. It keeps you in it.
Taylor Hudson's the holder. Tommy Openshaw with a 20-yard attempt here and a penalty flag.
Delay game, kicking team. 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
It's a very smart, it's a conservative call by Derek Mason, certainly. And, you know, his defense has had the football driven on him here the last couple possessions, but putting his faith in them, making this a 3-point game, you know, I don't hate the call. I like it.
25-yard attempt. Cuts the lead in half. You don't want to come up empty when you started back at your own 5-yard line. So Coach Mason says, we'll cut that lead in half. We'll take the field goal. There is a flag back by the line of scrimmage.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct, number 87 of the kicking team, 15-yard penalty assessed on the kickoff. That is his first unsportsmanlike conduct foul.
Not quite sure about that number. We'll check. Still searching. The network. Now this is the penalty that will cause Vanderbilt to kick off from its own 20-yard line. Watch 87 from Rang, youngster on the field.
A lot of John going back and forth here. You're going to see at the very last second a little bit of a shove. And the referee sees that. Derek Mason coaching him up. We talked about this young team having to learn what it takes to win. And Derek Mason understands. Again, the margin for error is very small.
So he said, listen to me, you shut your mouth. You got me? That's exactly what Coach said to him.
And now, Brent, these last 2 kickoffs, because of unsportsmanlike conduct penalties, have put South Carolina in very good field position to start. You can't give away points. You can't give away the field to a team that has much better talent than you in this juncture of the game.
Carson back deep. Carolina up, but only by 3. 23 seconds left in the third. On the ground, Carson gets it on the hop at the 19. And he returns to the 39-yard line. And now for tonight's Aflac trivia question. Jesse Palmer, red hot. So Vanderbilt Jay Cutler, the current Chicago Bears quarterback, named the former Vanderbilt star quarterback who led the Bears to an NFL championship. I know you were doing homework and you may have come up with this.
I'm a homework guy, and I'm going to admit I think I know who it is.
That's good.
But I didn't.
Hang on.
I didn't know who it was until this week because I knew I had to do my homework.
You knew I was going to send it to you.
Yeah, I knew it. And I'm going to say, Brent, when we walked in the stadium, I think there's a picture of his banner in the stadium.
And I was saying, oh my man looked at that picture.
I think I saw it.
Oh, he's a legend in this city, believe me, and a dear friend. Mike Davis in as the running back. Good for you, Jesse, for doing that homework.
Well, I haven't said it yet.
Davis out to the 45-yard line.
All right. He was the first pick in the 52 draft.
You got it.
And won the championship in '63. It's Billy Wade.
It is, and he is the only Vanderbilt player chosen with the first overall pick in a draft that included people like Pat Summerall.
Wow.
Okay.
And one of your buddies.
Yeah. And Wade, of course, I covered as a newspaper man when he won the championship. Good for you, Jess. Into the third, 27-24. Come on. Bill Wade led the Bears to the 1963 championship out of Vanderbilt. That's the answer to our Aflac trivia question here this week. And there is Wade, Vanderbilt from 1949 to 52. It was the Los Angeles Rams who drafted him first. Then he was traded to George Halas and the Bears. Here he is, number 9, against the Rams. And in that 1963 championship game, he scored both touchdowns against Frank Gifford and the New York Giants. And they played that game in Wrigley Field, and old brother was it cold. 27-24 now. Carolina with the lead on Vandy. Final quarter. Davis slips, loses a couple of yards. And this is third down coming up. And Jesse, you and I are going to walk away from this game with respect for Vanderbilt no matter what happens here.
No doubt about it. And emotionally, I've been very impressed with the energy. I think that started with Derek Mason in the locker room. We saw it in the first quarter. They kind of regained that momentum here in the third quarter on some special teams and some defensive plays, and here they are, still fighting.
Rush 4. Thompson able to get the first down and then some, using his running back Davis out of the backfield.
Yeah, Mike Davis is a complete back. He really is. And they took advantage of man-to-man coverage right here. And there's a linebacker at Vanderbilt that actually loses his responsibility. He's got Mike Davis man-to-man here. And you're going to see 2 shallow cross routes underneath of him. That allows Davis to get out into the flat. He's a complete back. He's a power runner. He's got speed. He can pass protect. He can also catch the football. And there he's able to lose Nigel Bowden on that route. And Dylan Thompson's been huge here recently on third down.
Movement.
It's going to be on the right guard, Will Sport.
Life in the SEC. LSU going down at home at the hands of Mississippi State. There's still about 5 minutes and change, but it's 34-16.
South Carolina, 5-yard penalty, first down.
Alabama had a tough first half against Florida, but then the Crimson Tide rolled in the second half and took care of business. Used both their quarterbacks. Jesse having a good day at handicapping also. He liked Mississippi State going into Baton Rouge. And all of you know what a tough spot that is. And here, South Carolina's had its hands full since the opening kickoff. Firing far side, incomplete. McMaster making a fine play. It looks like it was going to be a reception, but Torrin McMaster has made some good plays tonight, and that was Demir Bird.
Yeah, you can see why this coaching staff's excited about this young sophomore cornerback. Just a lot of ability and plays that clean. Demir Bird does a nice job jumping up, trying to make the play. But again, small window to throw into. And a lot of times tonight when they tried to throw McMaster's way, it's been tough sledding.
Second down and 15. Going in underneath here on second down to Farrell Cooper. And Cooper was hit by Ryan White, who's been very active tonight, number 14.
Good job reading coverage by Dylan Thompson. They had 2 shallow cross routes designed to beat man-to-man coverage. It was a zone. So he finds his receiver and gets a lot of that yardage back for yet another third down. Again, how good has Dylan Thompson been here in the second half on this down and distance? Lights out.
Again, Cooper, first down, 25-yard line, out of bounds. And there, Jesse, just as you called it, Thompson has been really tough on third down in the second half.
And Farrell Cooper's been his guy. You know, I think in the big, you take a look at this again, it's a good play call by Steve Spurrier. You know, a lot of pressure's been coming up the middle of the field. So you move the pocket, you get away from that, get him on the run to Farrell Cooper in the slot for an easy pitch and catch and moving the chains again.
First down and 10, ball at the 25. On a cutback run by Davis. Gets near that first down mark on that carry, and he gets the spot. I believe he's going to get it.
And Brent, going back to Dylan Thompson for a second, I thought his performance against Georgia last week was huge with respect to him asserting himself as a leader on this team. He had big wins before as a backup against Clemson, UCF, but those were Connor Shaw's team. His leadership, the way he performed, they told his team he's the man. He can lead them to Atlanta. That was a big performance. I think a big step for him last week.
I'm going to correct myself now. That spot's just a little bit short of that first down marker. Second down and 1, and they'll take it from this spot. Davis. First and goal, whistled down around the 10-yard line. Williamson with his stop. And balls are coming loose a little bit on Carolina here in the second half.
Yeah, ball security has got to be big. And again, you know, working that left side of the offensive line, running behind their strongest point. You're going to see Davis here breaking down Williamson on the tackle. He doesn't have it ball tucked high and tight. Better ball security. They got to have it.
Check with the sideline on this 1st and goal call. Cooper is in the slot. Bird is outside of him on the right side of the formation. Davis to the 7-yard line. 2nd and goal, and there's an injured Commodore on the field. That could be their leading tackler, Bowden.
Yeah,
I believe it is.
Yeah.
Shaken up.
It's been a physical game. There's no doubt about that. And Vanderbilt, for the most part, in their front 7, you know, has stepped up and made hits. There's actually 2 players down for Vanderbilt right now. And again, very, very young team as already. And we talked about 8 new starters this season and 9 freshmen and sophomores playing. Not a lot of depth even to begin with. And here at a critical juncture of the game, down by 3 points, with South Carolina knocking on the door, inopportune time for these young Commodore players that have fought so hard in this game.
So we'll take a break while the players are being tended to on the field. Then $4 million in scholarship funds. South Carolina with a 3-point lead and a 2nd and goal from the Vanderbilt 6-yard line.
So with some backups in now at key positions at the linebacker spots for Vanderbilt, you'd expect Steve Spurrier, with the success they've had here in the 2nd half running the ball, to stay with it.
Rory Anderson back on the field at that tight end spot, 81, blocking. Touchdown, Dylan Thompson, Nick Jones. Daylight for Vandy. Extra point will make it 10 with 10:34 to go.
Another very gutsy throw under duress for Dylan Thompson. He had backup linebacker Jake Seelan right in his face, took a big shot getting that ball out in the flat. But again, you know, at Vanderbilt, they've given 2 drives in a row now to South Carolina with great field possession, and South Carolina's made them pay.
3 touchdown passes for Dylan Thompson tonight. He now has 11 on this season.
A successful beginning to the Steve Spurrier era. Spurrier that puts the system together and calls the plays at the right time. The Florida Gators have staked their claim. Touchdown, Florida.
Steve Spurrier gets his 200th win as an SEC head coach. He joins Bear Bryant and Vince Dooley.
One of the best of all time, Steve Spurrier. Won that Heisman Trophy back in the 60s down there in Florida. Did a grand job of leading the Gators. Jesse, of course, played for him down there on one of their great teams. And with a win tonight, he'll move 1 game ahead of Vince Dooley, who had a fabulous career at Georgia. And let's see now. The old head ball coach takes dead aim at the Bear.
Got a ways to go, doesn't he?
The way he's going, why not?
Amazing.
And I have to say, this is the grandest run that South Carolina has ever had in its history. I mean, it's remarkable when you think of the last 3 years, what he's accomplished. Leading by 10 now. Bouncing a kickoff, and Sims goes right down at the 15-yard. They finally solved. They finally solved that kickoff thing against Sims here on the last 2. Jesse, talk to me about what you thought of Steve when you played for him, and what you think now looking back.
Well, I picked Florida because of Steve Spurrier. I thought he was the best coach in the country. Watching what he's done at South Carolina, I now realize that he's a better coach than I even appreciated. I mean, that's saying something. He had just coached Danny Whipple to a Heisman. Had played in 2 straight national championship games. South Carolina was a sub-500 team when he took over. They're a perennial top 10 team now. He has as many 11-win seasons at South Carolina as he had in Florida. It is amazing to me what he's done to this program.
Freebeck on play action, down 10, incomplete, through to a sliding Duchek.
Time for another answer here, and we just saw the young true freshman quarterback, Freeback, lead a great drive on that last possession, their only possession of the second half. And you can just kind of tell by his body language there, understanding he missed that throw, had an open shot. It's one he knows he's good enough to hit. He's going to have to make some throws here. Again, this game not over. Over 10 minutes to go, just 10 points down. The way they're running the ball, they've got a shot, but they're going to need this young guy to step up here and make some plays.
Play action to Seymour and then drop it in underneath and come back with Duchuk. And Bryson Williams moved it all over the field.
He sure has. I was just going to say that, Brent. You know, safety, corner, he's playing hurt. He's got an arm injury from an arm that he broke a few years ago, and still leadership, playmaking ability, the pick six at the end of the first half to really turn the tide of this game. He can barely move that right arm. And when you watch him on film, he's making one-handed tackles. This guy just gutting it out for the South Carolina D.
Third down and 9 for the Commodores. Steps away from the rush. Throws it downfield, jump ball, and penalty flags, but it's caught anyway at the 40-yard line by Stephen Shoy. What a grand catch this is to keep Vandy alive.
Young quarterback growing up before our eyes, avoids the rush. Lorenzo Ward can't believe it as defensive coordinator, and what a catch by the tight end, Shoy.
Pass interference, defense number 9. That penalty will be declined. First down.
Gerald Dixon had a shot at the young quarterback Freeback. He made a miss. You take a look at this again. This was almost double pass interference. You got go lightly, all over him, draped. He gets a hand on the ball, can't knock it out, and then he takes a massive shot on his way down by T.J. Gurley. That is a huge, huge play for Vanderbilt in their offense.
44 yards on that pass play. And complete again to the outside using Rayford this time. Well, I'll tell you, they told us this young man had a live arm, and we're seeing it on some of these throws.
And then the crowd, myself, everybody holding their breath, because that was one of those outbreaking throws again to the sideline. Bryson Williams had a beat on that ball, but that time the location of the throw is what protected it. You're right, Brent. You can see the upside and why this staff, and I think why these fans are excited about this young true freshman quarterback.
Back with the running play, Seymour with another first down to the 29-yard line. Weekdays, of course, ESPN Radio's Paul Feinbaum will be on the air on the SEC Network, 3 p.m. Eastern Time. You got to be watching when Al from Alabama dials up Paul Feinbaum, or Phyllis, or any of his other regulars. I guarantee you, you'll have a good time if you check him out for a few minutes during the week. He's fun. First down and 10 for Vandy. If he and the receiver on the right page, I'll tell you one other thing I'm seeing with Freeback. He's got some courage.
Yeah, he does. But it's got to be smart courage. You can't just start winging the football down the field into a lot of coverage. And right now, he's picking on Bryson Williams. He's picking on the most experienced defensive back that South Carolina has. He's got toughness. There's no doubt about that. Sky Moore comes through unblocked as a linebacker, scoop slams him. This young Freeback, he's got something to him. And you're seeing that so far in this game. Got to be smart here, though, in the fringe area. Points are at a premium. Remember, even if you get a field goal here, this is still a one-possession game. Can't take a sack.
Second down and 10. Rush 4 came free. A little bit high on that throw, but the rush was breathing fire.
Yeah. And, you know, Lorenzo Ward, the defensive coordinator, is not backing off. You're right. And he kind of gets the sense that as Freeback's confidence is rising, offensive coordinator Carl Durrell's confidence is rising. We're seeing a lot more pass plays dialed up now for this young quarterback, and Lorenzo Ward's going to bring heat. He's always loved bringing pressure. He can dial it up a lot of different ways from a lot of different parts of the field. He's going to make this young true freshman quarterback earn it and bring his team back.
Well, Freeback figures to be thrown here on 3rd and 10.
So where's the pass rush, Brent? We talked about this defensive line. They got to step up. Who can make a play? Critical 3rd down.
Jailbreak got him. Ball is down. They recovered, but was it incomplete? Pressure was coming from Roberts big time. Number 21 getting to the quarterback.
You take a look, Lorenzo Ward's going to cover everybody with a defender. He's trying to get one-on-one matchups, and it's going to end up being this guy right here, Marquise Roberts at linebacker, that gets the free shot right in the solar plexus of Wade Freeback.
Well, here comes an important field goal try right now for Openshaw. 47-yarder to make it a one possession. Down 10. Here we go. Carolina survives that scare. Down inside the end zone. Jumping on that was T.J. Gurley, the safety. Downing it there, and it'll be South Carolina ball, still up 2 scores.
Is that J.T. Surratt? Got his paw on that. We're going to take a look at the right side of the screen here as we move away. Big 97. Let's check it out. Wow, look at the big guy get up.
Swallowed it. Get that junk out of here. 52-14. And here, a 10-point advantage for South Carolina. South Carolina with the football. Mike Davis fumbled it. Mike Davis put it on the carpet. 7.5 minutes to go.
Finally, it looks like Vanderbilt got their due.
Did they finally get the loose ball here? Yes, they did. That is number 53, Taylor. We've talked all night about Vince Taylor and the senior for Hattiesburg.
Ball security has been a major problem for South Carolina here in the second half. They've gotten lucky getting back on some of these footballs. Mike Davis, we saw in the previous drive, looked like he almost put one on the floor. And right there, just what didn't look like a clean exchange between Dylan Thompson and him on the zone replay. And there's your guy, Vince Taylor. He's the best player Vanderbilt has, making a huge play late, giving the football back to the true freshman quarterback, Freeback, here deep down in South Carolina territory.
Webb in as the running back for Vandy. 3 wideouts. And it will be Webb left side, gash hole. Barges into the red zone for a first down. How about that run by the redshirt freshman?
That left side of the offensive line just firing off, getting a hat on a hat, taking advantage of this South Carolina defensive line. They haven't been able to get penetration on the quarterback all year long. They've been bad getting in the backfield. Remember, they had allowed over 300 rushing yards before contact coming into this game. That was the most in the SEC. This is, again, where Vanderbilt had the advantage on offense, and that's shown up in this game. Already 156 rushing yards for the Commodores.
Freeback 6 of 13 for 93 yards. On first down, almost picked off. The umpire had to avoid some heavy traffic there, didn't he? Chris Moody was the safety back there. That was a tough spot for him.
It was a laser ball as well from Wade Freeback, and I think this is one of those throws, if you're a quarterback, you want to take a little bit off this. You know, you're just throwing it right over the middle of the field, put it out in front of your receiver, let him make a play. I think it caught Shoy by surprise. I think all the traffic caught the referee by surprise. But, you know, that was almost tipped and caught by Moody, the safety. You got to be careful. These are all things this young quarterback Freeback's going to learn about, take a lot away from this game.
Webb checks back in on 2nd and 10. Complete to the 12-yard line.
No, and I got to say, Brent, I am a little bit surprised at the play calling right now because of the success they've had running it. Why stop? You know, I understand this guy, he's made some throws tonight, and you want to build his confidence, but, you know, if my offensive line's playing the way they are, and you're playing against a defense like South Carolina that wants to bring pressure, you can gash them against the blitz with some of these zone run plays. Now here's a big critical third down. Again, no sacks, no turnover right now. You can keep this a one-possession game.
4 down linemen, 2 on the edge, and here they come. After the freshman fires in zone too high. And now it goes to 4th down with 6 minutes to go. So a field goal again makes it a one-possession game, but they may be going for the touchdown here. Or the first down. Remember, they get a first down at the 7-yard line.
But why, Brent? I mean, why not just kick a field goal at this point and keep it a one-possession game? You don't get this. You're back to 10 points, giving the football back to South Carolina. I don't really understand why you go for it here, but you didn't go for it earlier when they had that great long drive in the third quarter.
6 minutes. Play clock's running down on them. They've now got 5, and they've got a timeout.
He must have zero confidence in his kicker. I know the last kick got blocked.
Timeout. First charge timeout for Vanderbilt in the second half.
This is a bit surprising for me.
Well, Sunday, the SEC Network will bring you the rewind of a classic, Arkansas-Kentucky. 7 overtimes, tied an NCAA record. SEC Rewind. It's on Sunday at 10 p.m. on the SEC Network. Jesse, well, I've got a moment. I want to pass along condolences to your Thursday night play-by-play man and a good friend of ours, Reese Davis, whose father passed away. I know that Reese was unable to work with you Thursday night, and known Reese through the years, and certainly there's no finer young man, and I know how tough it is when you lose your father in a situation like that.
It's very well said, Brent, and I'm very lucky. For the last couple of years on Thursdays, I've gotten a chance to work with an excellent play-by-play guy, but also an even better person, as you mentioned. So all of us at ESPN, our thoughts and prayers go out to Reese and his family.
So after the timeout, the coaching staff changes its mind, and here is Tommy Openshaw to make it a one-possession game, and Jesse and I agree this is the right call. It'll be right around a 29 or 30-yarder, and this one he makes, and it's a one-possession game, and still there's enough time. You don't have to go to an onside kick.
No,
right?
Absolutely.
ESPN is your home of the new college.
Hanging tough against South Carolina. And this is how Derek Mason began the evening talking to his team in the locker room.
History will be written tonight. As soon as you stand in here, if you believe in what you're doing, if you do your job, if you commit to your team and your unit, things will happen the way you want it to happen. You can't fall down, and if you do, your brother will pick you up, and he will carry you on his back, and he will take you there. He will get you there, but you got to believe in him. You got to fight with him. You got to grind with him, and more than anything, you got to believe in him. I'm telling you, history will be written tonight if you believe. Just do your job. No more, no less. Just your job. I'm telling you.
Inside the Headset was brought to you by AT&T. And if they believe now, they're alive just with 5:57 remaining.
And you got to be impressed with the emotion his team has played with, and it stems from him. He got this team right. This is a much different looking team than the one we saw against Temple and against Ole Miss. No doubt about that. They have gotten better.
The hands people are on the field for South Carolina. Bird is back deep. And I would expect Vanderbilt to kick this one away, but let's see. Coaches, you know, don't always do what I think they're going to do, you know? Mississippi State stuns LSU in Baton Rouge. Vanderbilt's turn. They kick it away. And let's check in down below with Maria.
I've been standing here with Dylan Thompson throughout the entire time Vanderbilt was on offense, and he spent a lot of time getting his team back together. It's the most active that I've seen him on the sideline. He talked a lot about making sure that he's in control, falling into that leadership role and position this season, and he's taken ownership of this drive especially, guys. I've seen him getting up, talking to every single person on offense, making sure they're all on the same page.
All right, Maria, they've got 5:57, Jesse, on the clock. Vanderbilt with 2 timeouts. South Carolina with all 3.
He's got to be telling them ball security. He's got to be telling his receivers, his running backs, everybody that'll listen to him, guys, no more putting the football on the ground. Now remember, I'll say it again, they've been in this situation the last 2 games against East Carolina and Georgia, up late, having to ice the game. They've run the football and relied on this offensive line. But Dylan Thompson, a guy that in the past couple of years was a backup that had moments, This is his team right now, and you're seeing that leadership shine through as they line up in the Wildcat with Pharoh Cooper.
Cooper takes it around the left side. Gets out to about the 30-yard line. And we note also, Jesse, that Azubake and Bowden, who were shaken up in that last series defense, they are back on the field for Vanderbilt. As we come to second down.
You said the key word there, left side of that offensive line. Corey Robinson, 6'8", 344 pounds. Their left tackle, number 53. That guy right beside him, number 50, A.J. Cann, preseason All-American, nasty blocker. They got to rely on these guys at this juncture of the game.
Stay with the Wildcat as Thompson out wide to the left. Going to run him to the left. Right side, midfield, breaks for the end zone. Nobody gonna stop him. How about Pharoh Cooper? Steve Spurrier dials up back-to-back Wildcat plays. There's 71 yards, and I believe I saw the center get out and throw a hellacious block as he pulled out. We're going to check that and see if Alan Knott didn't do something, didn't get in the end zone.
Take a look where the ball is before the elbow. The hand hits, that's okay. It's where the elbow is.
Though?
Yeah, and
how
the knee
about
as well.
That knee on the inside?
Yeah,
that's coming
really,
up to
really
Paris'
close.
head.
Check this out again. Knees.
How about that knee, that right knee?
It's hard to see right from there, that angle, when it actually touches the ground. Oof.
The whistle was blowing as the extra point. They're going to wave this extra point off. Instant replay wants to take another look at this. John Bible upstairs. He's had a busy night here. They've made some big calls.
The ruling on the field was a touchdown. The previous play is under further review.
So they'll take a good look at that. This side is what I want to see. That right knee appears to be down. The problem is now, with that picture, you don't see the relation of the ball to the goal line.
Exactly, and if the ball is even beginning to break the plane of the goal line, that's a touchdown, so long as the knee hasn't touched.
If you look at this in your Mr. Bible, and you think about,
you just don't know when the knee touches from that angle. That's the problem. And again, ruling on the field, touchdown.
Tough call.
You need indisputable video evidence to overturn this.
Is the leg down, but is the ball?
It's just too hard to see.
I think your thought process on that play is that he was down. I think as you watch the different angles, however, there's not indisputable evidence yet. Jesse, I agree with you. This is a very, very difficult call.
Because, yeah, I mean, you have to be able to walk away from this with 100% conviction and certainty that his knee was in fact down. That's obviously very tough to do.
What a gutsy sequence of plays. I mean, you use the Wildcat as a change of pace, but he stayed with it.
Yeah, and you know, and we talked about that though. Relying on that offensive line. This is the best offensive line in the Steve Spurrier era. And relying on them to ice this game and win this game for you. With Pharoh Cooper, we talked about.
If it's going to be spotted short, if they rule that, will they leave Cooper as the Wildcat, or will they have Thompson hand it off to Davis or Wild?
Yeah, I mean, remember, you've got a 223-pound back in Mike Davis. You've got a 230-pound back in Brandon Wilds. I'd imagine you'd go more conventional.
After review, the runner was short at the half-yard line. It will be 1st and 10, a 1st and goal, South Carolina.
And when we go back and take a look at this play call by Steve, when you look at it and you break this play down right here, there are 4 defenders on this side. There's only 3 over here. So in my mind, I'm thinking they're going this way. In fact, it's the center that's going to pull around. And you mentioned Knott to get out on the perimeter and get a great block. Little deception. And there's the speed by Cooper.
Great play by Head. Hustled back on it. Stopped him just short. And obviously they're not going to the Wildcat with Cooper. He's over on the sideline. And so they will bring Dylan Thompson out. And probably Davis, I would think. That's who it is. Mike Davis. Bring some blockers to help Davis out. Diaz and McLaren, both fullbacks, are in the game now. Thompson goes right straight ahead against that defense, looking for a signal. Haven't seen a signal. There it is finally. Touchdown is the rule. Thompson keeps it. Burrows in.
You know, Vanderbilt's not Stanford yet on defense. You know, the Ben Gardners, the Trent Murphys, the Shane Scoves, they're not out there on the field. The guys Derek Mason used to have with him at Stanford. They're young, they're fighting, they're scrapping. They don't quite yet have the talent. They don't quite yet have the attitude that Derek Mason demands from them. They're going to get there. You got to believe in that, but good drive by South Carolina to answer.
Yeah, Jesse, I so much agree. There's no reason why Vanderbilt can't be a Stanford-like team in the SEC.
Bang, 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 bang. Boom, 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 boom.
I'll be in Ibiza. I'll send you a text, though.
Take that watch ESPN app.
That's right. You know what? Exactly.
Check us out.
I can get it in.
41-27 now. And Sims has returned 2 kickoffs for touchdowns tonight. And they have been shutting him out. That ball's loose. It's off a player and scramble for it. You know how loose balls have gone here tonight. South Carolina football at the 25-yard line.
That's been the best coaching adjustment Steve Spurrier has done tonight. After giving up 2 long kickoff return scores, moving more to this squib kick, and it has given Vanderbilt's return team issues the entire game.
And that was recovered by Bryson Allen Williams. He's a freshman from Ellenwood, Georgia.
You just don't know where this ball is going to bounce. And see, it's hitting guys. That's Nathan Marcus. He's a tight end. That just hits him in the leg. And again, Vanderbilt's had problems all night long diving on loose balls. They're going to have some drills, I guarantee you, with Derek Mason this week in practice, jumping on loose balls.
Carson back in as the running back here. And Steve would like to pound away on that clock now and just get out of here with this W. Conference game. Carson and you know, Jesse, well, I've got a chance. Okay, I want to really thank all the people down in the truck, led by Scott Matthews, the producer, Patrick McManus, our director, Steve Stetz, Seth Miller, Kathy Hart. Up here in the booth, of course, we've got Scott Musburger, George Hill, Jacqueline Jameson. We got Michael Allen, who keeps us up to speed on all the stories, and of course you and Maria. I'm very impressed with the way the gang came in here and went to the meetings with the coaches. I know things have been down a little bit with Vanderbilt, found the good stories, and this has been a terrific production.
Yeah, well, I think for all of us, I think it's an honor getting a chance to work with you.
Yeah, it's great fun, man.
We bring our A game because we know you do every week.
And you do 2 games. I'm impressed by that. Okay. Now, here we are, Jesse. Let's take a look at the Commodores' schedule here.
You know, I think one reason why expectations were still high for Vanderbilt was the fact that they play the easiest non-conference schedule in the SEC. And out of the West, they missed Alabama, Auburn, LSU, Mississippi State, and Texas A&M. I understand, you know, this is a team coming off back-to-back 9-win seasons. They've been to 3 straight bowl games. I think expectations this year for Derek Mason were unreasonable because not a lot of people were aware that there was no more talent left after James Franklin left. We talked about 21 new starters, 31 freshmen playing, a lot of young bodies, and this is going to be a process for Derek Mason. No doubt about it, when you've watched them tonight, they're moving in the right direction.
Absolutely.
He's done a tremendous job with his staff. And it's going to be a continual process. They're going to learn. They learned more tonight about what they can do and what they can't do. They'll continue tweaking. But watch out. This young team, if they buy into his message, 2-3 years, watch out.
Oh, yeah.
Big time.
Adam Butler was the player who was shaken up, Jesse. He walked off, and now we got a 2nd down and 9. And again, Coach Spurrier, all he wants to do right here is kill the clock and just get out of here with a W. Certainly really back in the chase in the East. Could put together back-to-back victories over Georgia and Vanderbilt, so he'd be 2-1 in the tough SEC. That's David Williams, who's now the ball carrier for Steve here in mop-up time.
Talk about South Carolina's schedule, Brent. We wondered if they were kind of peeking ahead to Missouri right here, but then you got at Auburn, at Florida, at Clemson. It's a big road test coming up for South Carolina. This SEC in general is wide open. The East, as we saw today, with a couple teams getting knocked off, Florida and Missouri going down, it's up for grabs. But right now, with that win last week against Georgia, South Carolina's in the driver's seat. They control their own destiny.
They're down at 1. Dylan Thompson about to wrap up another victory as a starting quarterback. What did we have? 5-1 when the night began as a starter. Was that it? This make him 6-1?
Yeah. No, he can lead this team and take them to Atlanta. And I think, you know, big picture Steve Spurrier, I think you and I talked about this. I think he's having more fun here than he's ever had.
Absolutely.
He loves doing things for the first time. So when he won an ACC championship at Duke in '89, or 7 SEC titles and a national championship at Florida, but what he's done here at South Carolina, and you and I both agree, the #1 goal for him is winning an SEC championship.
At South Carolina.
At South Carolina.
No question.
And we saw that schedule. They've got their work cut out for them. They've got to bring their A game week in, week out. They've beaten the SEC East champ each of the last 3 years, but slipped up somewhere else. So they're going to have to play at a high level.
Steve just keeping it on wide swinging. And of course the players, they want to punch it back in again. That's David Williams. He's a redshirt freshman out of Philadelphia.
Now, the recruiting's been very good for Steve Spurrier. David Williams, that they think is the future at the position. Great athlete, nice combination of size and speed. We've seen 4 running backs get in the game tonight for South Carolina. You know, things are good. When you have 3 consecutive 11-win seasons and 3 consecutive top 10 finishes, you get some of these guys. And I think part of Steve Spurrier's recruiting, getting the best players inside the state of South Carolina, whether it's Jadeveon Clowney, Stephon Gilmore, Marcus Lattimore, Alshon Jeffrey, you know, you kind of build this roster. You know, success breeds success. He's had that. He's got the athletes, no doubt about it, to get back to Atlanta.
Williams barging across the goal line for the touchdown. Remember, this team was down 14 points early.
Take another look at this young freshman running back on the zone read, north-south, keeping the legs driving, shoulder pads parallel to the ground, dragging Darren Herring at linebacker into the end zone. It's a statement. It's a great point, Brent. They were down 14-0. They were sleepwalking.
Right.
No doubt about that. They woke up and they responded, and that's what good teams do.
And that's a 21-point advantage there with a minute and a half for the Gamecocks. And you know, as Jesse has talked, very much alive for SEC East Championship and head back to the title game down in Atlanta. But how about the 4? Well, Jesse and I took an early look at it, and I'm really penalizing Florida State for bad behavior. And I'm going to go with 2 teams for the SEC West, whoever wins it and whoever's runner-up right now. And I'll slot Oklahoma and Oregon in there. And Jesse, I wait for you for your early.
All right. Well, you know, the team we saw week 1 that hammered South Carolina, who we both believe is a pretty good team.
Yes.
Texas A&M. That, to me, still is the most impressive win of the season of anybody around the country. I've got Oregon in 2. I was impressed with their win against Michigan State in week 2. Oklahoma's looked lights out on both sides of the ball. And Alabama, really, really good. I know they played, you know, little subpar competition. They had a quarterback controversy. They put up 641 yards today against the Gators. It's the most the Gators have ever given up on defense.
I hedge. I say 2 teams for the West.
You're allowed to do
specific.
that. I'm trying to go. I'm going more specific right now. It's okay. You're allowed that. That's a tough division, man.
Yeah, long way to go. And certainly the head ball coach is in it now. No question about it. 48-27 here. And once he kept the kickoff away from Sims, he got this game under control. I mean, this was the opening of the game, folks. And here comes the 91-yarder, okay? Great alley, great block. Takes it home, and then Jesse, for whatever reason, they elect to give it to him again.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. Is that what they say?
That's
I mean, they went right back. This guy's been Devin Hester tonight for Vanderbilt. But it brings up a good point, Brian, because this defense has been beaten up on the field and off the field. Keep in mind, tonight, they've only, you see 2 return kickoffs. It's a school record. But South Carolina defensively, they've only allowed 13 points.
Complete to the 43-yard line. Free back to Chandler Durrell, the son of the offensive coordinator and He now lives in Nashville, but he went to school down in South Florida. And Dad is a little uneasy at first, but now he's glad to have him, and they seem to be having a good relationship. I know you played for your father, and it's not always easy to play for your father.
No, it's not. And I think as the son of a coach, you always get worried that you're going to be singled out and isolated because you're afraid of preferential treatment. With my dad and I, he coached me all the way from when I was a kid till I got to Florida, and he was my coach on the field and my dad as soon as we walked off the field, and that was a great way to do it. And I think the way that Carl Durrell, the offensive coordinator, is doing that here at Vanderbilt is the best way, and it's good for the player and the team.
Final minute here in Nashville. One of the South Carolina faithful staying right here. Complete to the 7-yard line, and that's Quintera. Chris Quintera, who at one time was a tight end here at Vanderbilt, and they slipped him to outside receiver, and Jesse, he's got some size.
Success is invaluable right now for young Wade Freebeck, who took another huge shot throwing that football, but we've seen some accuracy going deep down the field. The vertical passing game had been something that was lacking the first 3 weeks. They may have found something here with Freebeck moving forward.
161 yards. Dives for the end zone. Touchdown. So they come right back with number 82, Quintera. He set it up, and then he catches the touchdown pass.
And if you're Derek Mason in Vanderbilt, you just love this. You know, the game's probably over. Your guys are still fighting. Let's just make sure he stayed in bounds. See, it looked to me like that right foot, it's dragging. Oh, see, it touches the white line right there, it looks like, before that ball gets across the edge. Big picture, though. These guys fighting, these young players. I don't know if they're going to get a chance to review it. Need to go ahead and kick.
They're not going to stop it.
No. Call that competitive advantage, maybe. But you know what, Derek Mason, you almost saw a little smile there. You see it. I mean, you take a lot of things away from this game. And having a chance to see this young team continue to fight until the very end and watch this young true freshman quarterback have some success, and this wide receiver core. There's some guys that are starting to establish themselves on the perimeter of the field. They ran the ball well tonight. Had some bounces not go their way. But for Wade Freebeck and this team, I'm telling you, watch out. By the end of the season, this is going to be a way, way different team than the one that started the year against Temple.
Well, they did, Judge, you mentioned it, and here are the key missing pieces from this team. And Jordan Matthews, I think he's been starting in the NFL.
One of the SEC's all-time great receivers. This guy right here is playing for the Cleveland Browns. There's another name up here. Remember Zach Stacy?
Yes.
He's a running back. Yeah, well, he was just here a couple years ago. He starts now for the St. Louis Rams. So we talk about the cupboard being bare or very close to bare when Derek Mason took over. James Franklin did an unbelievable job here at Vanderbilt. No one should take anything away from him. What he did here was remarkable. Back-to-back 9-win seasons. They beat Florida and Georgia last year, but Derek Mason, for people that just thought he was going to pick up and take over and they weren't going to skip a beat, they were sorely mistaken. But we've seen a lot of these young guys, these young players kind of grow up a little bit before our eyes tonight. I know people don't want to hear about moral victories, but I think you can take some away from this game if you're a Vanderbilt fan, if you're this coaching staff. They got a lot better tonight.
Onside kick, takes a high bounce and goes out of bounds. Farrah Cooper was on that good hands team, and I think you could see number 11 flash down there as the ball went out of bounds. He had a big wildcat run.
It might have been offside.
Offside. Number 5 of the kicking team. That's a 5-yard penalty that will be assessed at the end of the kick. First down.
It's Torrin McGaster, cornerback. Take a look. Yeah, right up top here. Just got a little bit of a jump. He's had a big game tonight on defense, making some stops. Farrah Cooper. Prompts that football there. Seriously, I mean, how about this guy's game tonight? Seriously, Farrah Cooper, 10 catches, 114 yards receiving, 74 yards on the ground, including that long run we saw on the last series to help ice this game.
So South Carolina wraps it up here. It's 48-34. There are Cooper's numbers. Had a big night, and you better believe you want that long touchdown run.
It's a good win, yeah, for Steve Spurrier. We talked about how in recent years Vanderbilt's just given them a lot of trouble, whether they played here at Vanderbilt Stadium or at Williams-Brice Stadium.
Yeah, it's played a hell of a game.
Don't
be some people. Don't do that. Don't do that.
It was a great game by Derek Mason and Vanderbilt. They should feel very, very proud about the way they played.
You bet. The Gamecocks prevail behind Coach Spurrier, 48-34. Now they're 2-1 in the SEC, 3-1 overall. And Maria is with Coach Spurrier, so let's go to Maria now.
Coach, the Commodores came out quick and got up 14-0. Where did you see your team improve as this game went on?
I don't know if a team's ever given up 2 kickoff returns for touchdowns and came back to win, but that happened for us. We had a lot of big plays on offense, and but it's embarrassing sometimes the way we play. It really is. And I'm the head coach of this group. We do a lot of stupid stuff. But somehow, no, we keep winning these games. But hopefully we can play a little smarter.
What was embarrassing for you in the game?
Embarrassing? Kickoff returns. Did you watch those? Watch that long pass down there? Nah, we win, though. We win.
Hey, Coach, you put Cooper in the Wildcat, though. What made you make that call?
Well, we're trying to make a first down, and that was a big play in the game because we were only up 7 at that point. And he takes it all the way. Or else we're in trouble. You know, they went and scored in a minute. So we're not a very good team right now, but we're gonna try.
Thanks, Coach.
That's how you know they've arrived. That's how you know they've arrived, because that's what he used to say back when he was coaching us at Florida. If we didn't win by 50 points, then we were a bad team.
He's one of my favorite guys.
All-timer.
I love him down there with him. And Thompson with the young quarterback, Freebeck, probably telling him, you know, just keep your head up, young man. He may get a chance. Patton Robinette knocked out with an injury in the early going. Sure, they're checking for a concussion. We wish Patton nothing but the best. He's an outstanding young man. Hope he's able to come back. South Carolina 48, Vanderbilt 34. It has been a dandy here in Nashville. The Commodores come up a little bit short. And now let's go to SEC scoreboard with Dari Noka. Dari, take it away.